uploading 28, 35, 18. It's like taking forever just to boot up. There we go. I mean, if it's just a basic day, I'm not going to be upset, but I would like to see, like, are you working now? Are you Gucci? Like, are we functioning? Oh, you sound so. I finally fixed my microphone, and I'm so happy about it because like it kept cutting out whenever I got loud, and I was getting driven nuts by it. But thankfully, we seem to be on the right page. Ooh, yeah, that thumbnail is sexy. Okay.
I love it. I love it with that Peter in the middle. And
I saw that when I was looking at shit. I was like, that, yeah, man. Like, that looked crispy. All right. That's up for the comments.
There we go.
Oh, wow. 57.
In the background.
Grab that. And then, okay. I'm gonna cheat. Go over here. Go over here. We'll just grab that one. Pause that. Go down. Then we're gonna grab all these funky links. And we're gonna cheat. We're gonna go over here. We're gonna plop it all in. And then we're gonna hit the button. I'll make that the 57th episode. And then we're good. Now there's a description, and now I can go over here and I can link it. And we're gonna Gucci. Okay, and then I'm not gonna lie, I'm really interested to know how Xavier felt about Frank, because this is gonna be the funniest shit ever, I feel like. Okay. Over here. We yeah. See, this is the one thing. Like, it always wants to choose like a Godzilla official every time. It's like,
oh, when you try to tag.
Yeah.
Hey man, I made the name of the channel when I was 10 years old. I didn't know I would be stuck to it forever.
And yet you never review Godzilla stuff, which is the funniest thing ever.
I am working on something related to that finally, now that I have a little bit more free time. I am doing a project related to Godzilla stuff.
Okay.
Hopefully that'll come out around the time when the hype of like Godzilla -0 is really blowing up.
Okay. Let me grab this. And then I'm gonna do this, that. All right. We're gonna go over to the Discord. Okay, did it. Welcome. Oh, yeah, it's just being nice. Okay. Podcast, Social Ladies Podcast. Everyone, we are live. Okay. I did not realize there was that many people on our Discord server to be here. It said 200 people. I'm like, wait a minute, that's crazy.
Wow. Dang, I missed a few people.
I think it was like we got a giant influx from when we showed the Milestone documentary, and then like no one ever gave a shit again.
Nah, that's fair. That's fair.
Which I might actually show Comic Book Superheroes Unmasked again next week, because like it's been a minute since we showed everything, and I'm like, you know what?
I think it's always a good push. It's always a good thing to get people active in the Discord in any way.
Right. Okay. Oh, right. Everything looks sexy. I ain't mad at it. I'm gonna say Absolute Green Lantern number 17 comes out this week.
Bloodwire issue 2 comes out this week too.
I'm so excited. Oh my god. Ben 10 issue 4 has that one clown dude that always freaked me out. Oh my god.
I'm excited for that
Zombozo?
one.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Zombozo's like actually gonna be in the comic, and I'm like, that's a crazy idea, bro. Like whoever had that idea of just making a Ben 10 comic book is actually insane to me. I'm not gonna hold you.
I can't
Honestly,
believe it
think
didn't
I got-
happen. Like a proper one didn't happen sooner. It's crazy.
Right?
Mhm. I had so many people at work start like jumping onto it as soon as I brought it up, and they were like, "What do you mean a Ben 10 comic book? I loved that TV show as a kid."
Mm. It reminds me of when like DC tried to do like a Scooby Apocalypse and Flintstones, but for adults, and I'm like, this is.
Guys almost had it. Maybe keep,
I mean,
keep them in
honestly,
that
it was a
realm of
great
kids, and it would be
allegory.
great.
Franchise wise, I think Ben 10 should be like moving like Transformers at this point if Cartoon Network hadn't been fumbling it so bad. Like, because it was like, you know, it's a property that started pretty much just as an animated series that they could farm a ton of toys and games and movies and merchandise, like all kinds of stuff out of.
I wanted an
you know,
Omnitrix as a kid.
everyone did, you know, like everyone did. And they I mean that franchise has made like $1 billion for Warner Brothers at this point. And then they were just like, here's no new cartoon for like 12 years or whatever.
Isn't that weird that like they just didn't really care about it? And like they had that little reboot, but the reboot really wasn't hit. And I'm just like,
yeah, that was clearly coming out in like the post like Teen Titans Go boom when all of Cartoon Network started to get a little bit less like detailed action cartoons, like less Bruce Timm style stuff and just more just being silly slice of life things with really simplistic character designs. They even did that like comedy series with Thundercats that
oh my god, I forgot about that. Thundercats Roar. And like I remember there were so many people that were upset about it because like it was like such a stark change from like anime Thundercats to just like childish, like really weird animation Thundercats, and it threw a lot of people off.
Yeah, there was a little while where they were just like, okay, let's take all of our big like superhero action cartoon properties and just make them comedies because Teen Titans Go is still like one of the most successful things they've ever done. And they kind of threw a bunch of franchises under the bus for that. Like, yeah, the Ben 10 reboot, I don't think it lasted very long. I don't think it was particularly popular or well liked.
Right.
And then yeah, Thundercats Roar. I feel like there's another one, like another show that they kind of did in that same style.
I don't. It's been so long. I don't know. Like now, I'm actually hearing. Oh, my microphone. Stay there. Oh my god.
Travel with you.
I know, right?
All right.
That's the one issue with a low profile.
I'm gonna retweet the link.
Do it. All right. And then while you do that, I will get the intro. People usually file in pretty early, but like we'll get the interesting topics out of the way. Well, not the interesting, but like the intro topics out of the way before we get to the Spider-Man stuff. Because oh boy, this is gonna be. I made a video yesterday, kind of like rambling on about it, about the whole like Blade situation, and it's at like my highest liked video on Instagram now, which is insane.
Hey.
Yeah, that caught me off guard. Like it being at freaking 2,000 likes, I'm like, brother, that's kind of
heck yeah, especially on Instagram. Jeez, I can barely get any comic book pushing stuff there. It never feels like.
Well, maybe if you changed your profile picture to you not in a pool.
I changed it up like 3 days ago now.
All right, let me do the intro.
It's been a year since I took that vacation.
5, 4, 3. What's going on, good people of the internet? It is time once again for Comics Unmasked, the podcast where a bunch of folks shoot the breeze and talk comic books and such. And yes, I got my own intro wrong and I'm sad, but it's fine. We are back for episode 57. 57, folks. We are here. We are diving into the nonsense. We got some fun topics, some interesting topics and some amazing topics. Some could say spectacular topics. We are going to go ahead and dive into this, folks. Don't forget that you can listen to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, your mama's fridge, Amazon Music and Audible, iHeartRadio, all those great places. And then you can follow us on all the socials as well: TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, all that good stuff. Make sure you find that in the show notes. We are going to go ahead and dive into this. To my left, we have Mr. Afro Baggins himself. He has tamed the fro for the show. Mr. B-Rax, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. The fro needed to stay tamed. It is getting too hot out here in Utah. And when I mean it's too hot, we have had almost 360,000 acres burned, but we're still reading comics. It's crazy. Yeah, we got evacuations orders going off across the entire
wow.
state. So as the world be going crazy, just know Utah be on fire.
Okay. All right. Well, we're glad you're safe. We're glad to see you here. And then, folks, I had to call up the reinforcements this week. I had to call up one of my close friends, one of my dear friends, the one of the most, like, I think this man knows more about Spider-Man than most people, and it's the funniest thing ever because, like, people will challenge him on his information, and then they look goofy to the point. There was even drama back during the PS4 game about it, and like that was a whole fun topic back in the day.
Man, that was like 2017. That was funny.
I know, right?
It's crazy you remember that.
I know, like because it was so funny because there was a bunch of hubbub about 6 months ago where a friend of mine called out Peter Parker fans for being too rabid and crazy, and I brought it up, and people were like, "What's the Spidey Squad?" I'm like, "You don't want to know." Godzilla Mendoza, how you doing, brother?
I'm good. It's good to be here for this. I'm glad you invited me because I'm looking forward to getting my thoughts out there on Brand New Day because people have been asking me like nonstop the last couple of days. So it'll be cool to
definitely
do that.
Well, let's go ahead and dive into it. So the first thing on the docket, before we dive into Spider-Man, because that's going to be the brunt of our show, we had gotten the news, what was it, Thursday, that Wonder Man was canned. We had found out a few months ago that we were going to be getting a sequel to it. That was the big hot news, that we were going to be getting a season 2, even though it had been under promoted, delayed multiple times. We found out we were getting Wonder Man season 2 because it was so critically loved and all this, that, and the third. But then randomly they just announced on Thursday it wasn't moving forward, and people were like, huh? Why did you do that? It doesn't make sense. And it raised a lot of eyebrows because we had just found out that there was a leak of potentially that Tiana Paris as Monica Rambeau was not going to be featured heavily in Doomsday, despite her being the whole reason how the X-Men get involved in the plot, that she's going to be not as influential in the plot. Ironheart is nowhere to be found. That has been a major concern for a lot of individuals. And Sam has seemingly been shafted in Doomsday in favor of Steve coming back. And like someone tried to say, oh, well, the description of the movie says that Captain America is going to have to rally the troops and bring everyone together. But it's like, you don't have him featured front and center in the promo material. It's Steve that's featured. That was the big hype moment in the trailer where Steve's worthy again, and that all that.
I don't even remember seeing Sam in the trailer.
He was there for like maybe 3 shots, if that.
Yeah, no, it's clear where the priority's at.
It's concerning. And then Friday we got the reveal because Mahershala Ali was doing promo for his new movie, Your Mother, Your Mother, Your Mother. And
great title.
I know, right? Like very interesting. I'm actually kind of intrigued what the movie's about, to be honest. And he talked to GQ and straight up said that like the movie's canned. Blade is canned.
Yeah, Blade's done.
We're not getting anything. And he said, and I quote, Marvel had me under contract. If they wanted to do the movie, we would have done the movie.
Yeah, they have billions of dollars and they had 6 years. And he also in the quote said, I'm getting very tired of Blade questions. Like he said, go ask them, basically. You could tell it's really starting to wear on him.
This is what like sucks because like I know he wants to do the movie. That's why he signed the contract. So like, how could you not get this just in the green light phase? That's the part that I just don't understand, because you guys are able to throw, which don't get me wrong, we got our like skull rider dude on a motorcycle coming in that's gonna be having some fun, and so people are gonna enjoy that, but like, you guys couldn't do both. Like, there's the thing, I know you guys have the money for it and you're like, we're slowing our movie department down, but like, at this point we would have done a TV show, we would have gone for a video game, we would have give us something, Blade. Cause like at this point, like, you guys had him under contract. Use the dude. I feel like that's such a waste of like
I mean, he didn't even
potential
voice
you could have had
Blade
there.
in Marvel Zombies was the other thing, is they used his
he was
likeness and
Moon
then had a
Knight
sound
Blade,
alike.
which is insane. Like he did it for the first season of What If, but then they had a sound alike for when he came back in another episode of Marvel Zombies. So it's like, you had this man in the booth to do this. You had him in Eternals and you wasted it. He even said in the GQ article he did a year of sword training. And
Well,
y'all
apparently
wasted that?
that's apparently he is putting that sword training to use in his new movie.
Yeah.
So it didn't go totally to waste for him. But like, yeah, man.
You
I mean, he
have
also said that
people-
he trained and like lost a bunch of weight and got like really, really in shape for it too. It's like, come on, man, don't waste his time.
That's the thing that kills me too, is not just this man's time wasted, but everybody else who had these ideas and everything that they were putting on paper and trying to get the lighting down and get the scripting down and get all of that down, just for you guys to be like, nah, we're gonna decide to go in another direction, even though like Blade is what really helped save Marvel when it comes down to TV or movies forever ago. So like, it would have been nice to have a little homage to that, maybe a little something here and there.
I mean,
At this
best we
point, I would
got
have
is
taken a
Deadpool and
15-minute
Wolverine.
short. Yeah, right? And that feels so like backhanded almost.
Especially when Wesley said that line. That line is going to haunt us for the rest of time.
Well, you know, I think that line was actually maybe the best written joke in that whole movie, because no matter what happened, no matter how the situation shakes out, that line will be funny and meta and weird. If they did get the movie working, it would be like, there's only ever going to be one Blade, and then Deadpool looks at the camera and then there's a new Blade, right? Oh, hey, it's cool. He got replaced. Or if not, then it's like, oh, there's just this shadow cast over the whole thing now. It's like Deadpool's like, yeah, there's not gonna be another Blade. like
it rips my heart out, man. Like, it makes me sad because I wanted to see like, and and what was really bothering me was when I made the first video where Feige said what he said on the press tour for A Brand New Day, where he said that he was regretful and felt ashamed that they couldn't get the Blade movie off the ground. I said straight up, how hard is it to give me a black man fighting vampires? And there was all these contrarians, all these weirdos in my comments who were like, well, it isn't that easy to make a movie. And I'm like, Ghost Rider right there. We got Ghost Rider. We got Doomsday. We got a new Spider-Man movie. You're telling me that all these other movies can keep churning and Blade can't come out to play?
Well,
really?
The amount of resources they're pushing around, like billions of dollars for the budget of the next Avengers movies, and like they even shook up their entire VFX crew and like fired a bunch of people who were working on Avengers, and then could hire a whole new VFX staff in like a week and just keep it moving, like no problem. It's like, okay, clearly you guys can move heaven and earth to get this shit done if you care about it. If you want it to move.
Isn't that crazy? Like, if you wanted to make moves, you can make moves. And it's like, y'all chose not to. And I think there's a really big problem with the amount of people who are so willing to just co-sign and defend a multi-million-dollar studio, or multi-billion-dollar studio rather, because the amount of people, especially like the racist individuals, because like, especially on Twitter this past week, there has been so many idiot people. There was people saying that, oh, Sam doesn't need to be Captain America, Steve is. There was people saying Blade doesn't matter when it comes to the Marvel universe. And I'm just like, we wouldn't be here if it weren't for Blade. Like Blade made all this possible. Daredevil, Spider-Man, like all those movies, the Fantastic Four, like it showed Hollywood that superhero movies could be viable, even if Marvel didn't really get a big payout, because we found out like years later that like I think it was either Fox or Cinemax like screwed over Marvel. They didn't really get any big payout from the license. Like, that movie straight up made it to where Hollywood saw value in superhero properties. So for them to just be like, nah, Blade don't matter, I'm like, oh, okay, interesting.
I mean, if we're talking about like Marvel cinema, he's like he's the Fantastic Four of that. He's the forefather of that whole thing. Like he got X-Men greenlit, and then X-Men got Spider-Man moving, and then Spider-Man got this whole thing going. Like without Blade, it feels like, you know, if I were Kevin Feige, I would put that character on kind of a pedestal because the whole empire started there. Like that was the first time they had put out something theatrically that really, really performed and like got people interested to go check out these characters and got even, you know, producers wanting to throw money at these things. Like, you know, Howard the Duck or the fucking Dolph Lundgren Punisher. Those weren't those guys didn't make a dent.
Nope. God, Howard the Duck. I would kill for a new Howard the Duck movie, man. As long as there's no like random
Seth Green.
Yeah. Like that'd be so hilarious. Like as long as there's no like shirtless duck women in a bathtub, I feel like we'll be all right. Like, oh, B-Rex, I gotta show you Howard the Duck at some point. That'd be a funny.
I'm already terrified as it is. I'm already terrified as it is.
Let me pitch this to you. So imagine Marty McFly's mom is in a rock band, and then Howard the Duck comes from like to the human world after being teleported there, and has to go on a whole adventure with Marty McFly's mom. And like that's the whole premise right there.
There is a ton of sexual tension between Howard the Duck and Marty McFly's
Why do I
mom,
feel
too.
like you just put me on a trip in my dispensary and I haven't even smoked yet today. I had a word. What is happening here? Okay, you piqued the interest. That's going on the reading list now.
Oh, that's the watch list, brother. That's the watch list.
That's a watch list?
Yeah, that's a movie.
That's a movie.
That's a whole movie.
Okay.
It's a theatrically released movie produced by George Lucas.
Yes, I forgot George Lucas.
That's the other weird thing, is when you look at the credits of that movie, you start like, that really raises an eyebrow too. Is like, what? After Star Wars, this was the big thing he was invested in? This is what he really wanted to get off the ground? Is it even
available streaming? I don't even know. Like, is it even available streaming?
I can get it on YouTube, it says.
Oh, that's $3 on YouTube. I guess I know what you're doing tonight.
I think I saw it on Tubi once.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, you know, it's one of those things where Blade definitely is one of the pioneers. And what's crazy is like Blade systematically made comic books cool again after the bubble burst, because like they went back in after like the whole thing, because Blade wasn't originally a half vampire in the comics. Blade was resistant to vampire biting because his mama got bit by a vampire, but then they changed it because of the movies to make him a daywalker. So they went through so much effort to retool Blade as a character because of that movie. And yeah, you're telling me like him as a character, him as a franchise isn't viable?
My favorite thing is that Blade in the comics was apparently meant to be British.
Yes,
and his mama is from Britain. Was not.
Yep.
Wesley Snipes was not. They were like, let's drop that whole accent. We're saying Eric Brooks is New Yorker now. Fuck it.
I love that.
It always cracks me up when people bring that up. They're like, Blade's supposed to be British. Why isn't he British? I'm like, bruh, shut up. Who cares? Like no, this is one of those things that no one cares about.
That's like Superman Can't Fly. They introduced that in the radio show, and then they were like, in the comics, they're like, yeah, we'll just have him fly. Cool, whatever. Yeah. Like sometimes adaptational stuff gets pulled back in. Sometimes it pisses me off, like all this stuff with Black Suit Spider-Man. Because I prefer the original, but sometimes it can be a good thing. Is someone else in another medium will take a crack at a character, they'll do something really cool that's different, and then the comics are like, well, shit, we should have been doing that the whole time.
It's very interesting the way that's going to go down, and it's just like, well, that's just the way it's got to be. But what's up?
Well, I heard that one of the biggest reasons that Blade was having a hard time getting off the ground for the longest time was that the scripts that they kept giving Mahershala were pushing Blade into kind of a support role to prop up other characters. like he has to have like a young sidekick that's another superhero, or we have to like really push in a lot of other Marvel stuff. I don't know if that's true, but that was the rumor that I read like 2 years ago when it still wasn't coming out. And
that's such an interesting idea. I know there was some people that said it was possible that like they were gonna use old Blade to prop up his daughter, and I'm like, I like give me like 2 movies, give me 2 Blade movies, then we can move into Bloodline and keep it pushing. But like to act as if that's a problem, like say that openly. Don't just let the movie die. Like maybe like especially because the way Mahershala tells it, or like there was even a leak that said, oh, Mahershala wanted a movie like a period piece, and that was going to be him fighting the KKK. And I'm like, I don't know about y'all, but I'd love to see Mahershala fighting the KKK and maybe vampires.
I mean,
Have y'all
yeah,
read
just
Big
say
Room?
that Blade ages slow so that you could have him still hanging out with present day characters, and then have him do his
Exactly.
period piece idea. Like, oh yeah, our version of Blade in the MCU was born in like the 1800s, but the vampire virus makes him age slow. So that, I mean, that gives you decades of free room to do stories with him without having to also dance around the continuity of everybody else's goddamn thing. Like, what was Blade doing during Thanos? I don't know, man.
Doing Blade stuff, trying to
Right.
stay
Yeah.
uphill.
He cares about vampires.
Right. Like
How
that's
many
always my-
fangs
my-
does
my-
Thanos have? None. He doesn't care.
Right, and like that's always been my weird thing when people say, "Oh, like how are we gonna do the mutants? Where was the mutants the whole time during Thanos, bro?" It's comic books. Who cares? Like there's so many ways. Like the prevailing theory for so many years when it comes to like the X-Men was gonna be, oh well, Charles had a block going on the whole time. No one ever knew anything. Like that basic,
I like the
bro.
idea Thanos' snap like triggered something for like the X gene, you know? Like there's so many ways you could write
Ooh,
this
that's a
in.
cool idea.
Yeah, that would be very
Well,
interesting
I
to
mean,
see how
just
that goes.
I also thought it could just be as simple as like, just the mutants were in hiding and just didn't want to go get in anybody's business. Like, there's just a small community of them hiding in pockets here and there, and they're not getting involved in all the crazy, interplanetary battles. Like, that's just the simplest answer.
Right, and people are like, no, that doesn't make sense. I'm like, are you sure?
Well, you could totally retcon that in. Just have Nick Fury walk up and be like, "We've known about them, but they kept to themselves. They were on our radar, but we didn't feel like they were a problem."
You had one
Because
kid light a forest on fire once, and that was our biggest issue, you know? Like, it's not gonna be that
like,
hard.
or like we've known about Xavier and his mutants up in Westchester this whole time, but they keep to themselves and they don't cause any trouble, and so we decided to kind of look the other way. But you just, if you get a character that's been around for a little while to say something like that, you just add a little bit of legitimacy to it, and I think audiences would just roll with it. Like, it doesn't have to be this massive retcon of folding 2 universes together via multiverse stuff.
Yeah, so it gets to a point with everything where it's like you expect Feige to actually carry himself well. You expect everything to go the way it needs to, and when it doesn't, you're just kind of sitting there like, when does a pattern not be like when does the everything we're seeing here not be a pattern? Because
Well, yeah, that's the other thing is like when you renew a TV show and you tell everyone it's renewed, we're doing season 2, and then you still cancel it anyway. What does the first initial thing even mean at that point? Like, you just lied to our faces basically that you were going to do season 2 of Wonder Man. Like,
yeah, isn't that
The
crazy?
only
What is
way
that?
I
What
feel
is
like they can go ahead.
Well, it's just, what does it mean if you say we're renewing it for season 2, it's in production, and then you just cancel it anyway? Like, then why do you even do that first announcement if you're not sure? If it's still not locked in enough that you're still able to cancel it, then why even do that to us?
Right.
No, exactly. And it feels hurtful for one, because as a fan, like, you get excited for something, especially because as somebody who never knew about Wonder Man before, this TV show was the introduction for me. So I go, oh my gosh, this character's so cool. Let me go start pulling some of his comic books. I'm getting excited for season 2 to come out. Now, as a fan, I'm in a kind of this like headspace of, do I get to know this character more? Is this character actually going to be something that's interesting and part of the MCU? Or is it going to be one of their things to where they're just, here's a character that we had a short story for, and now we're throwing him off to the side for like another 15, 20 years. And so a whole nother
Like
generation
Werewolf
can
by
get
Night.
excited again. Exactly.
I'm glad you said that, B, because the one thing that's been bugging me for the hottest minute has been the issue at hand of them saying, hey, we're going to make Marvel Publishing create a Black Wonder Man in the fallout of the Ultimate Universe dying for a second time. And then the event is not even over yet. Ultimate Impact is not over. We still have 2 more issues to go. And yet you're telling me you canceled the season 2 of this man's show before his introduction into the Marvel Universe proper is not done? Like, that feels weird. That feels like someone didn't get a memo. Like, what logic is there to that?
So, well, I did have to ask. I haven't seen the Wonder Man show. I kind of
Mm.
have been avoiding a lot of Marvel stuff just because I'm so burned on the MCU now. Like,
Valid.
there's even the stuff that I hear is good. Like, I'm not caught up really. But wasn't Destin Daniel Creighton a big influence on the show? Didn't he work on Wonder Man?
Yeah, he was the director for it.
Okay, so I think the easiest connection to make is, all right, Spider-Man is making a bajillion shit zillion dollars right now. Get that man doing his Spider-Man trilogy and like shut down all of his other projects, including Wonder Man. Like,
Well,
I think
see,
they're
you
just gonna
say
lock
that-
him in a basement and go,
Right.
you gotta do Spider-Man for the next 3 years.
You would think so, and like I would have been cool with that if they would have just said that. But then what got really awkward was the co-director of the project, like the co-showrunner who also worked on the script, came out in a video today and basically went, "Hey guys, we were ready to go for season 2. We had the writers room scheduled to meet, and we just got the announcement from on high. Like dude was ready to go, I was ready to go, Yaya and Sir Ben were ready to go, and they just ended it on us, and we don't know why." And I'm like, for your co-showrunner to come out and say that, that says a lot to me that something's not right in the kitchen. It definitely tells me that maybe something could be wrong, because why would he have like he had the balls to come out and say that. Andrew Guest is his name. He was the the writer of the show, the co-showrunner, and I'm over here like, something is not right. Like, I feel like the
Did
nun
he like
from
find out
Madeline.
when he says like we got the news? Does he mean he found out when everyone found out?
No,
like,
he
from
found out
the
a week ago. He
news?
said he found out a week ago it was ending.
Okay,
And we
I mean,
don't
at least
know
they
why.
didn't just drop it on him like, you know, you
Like
learn the same time as everyone else.
yeah.
Like when you go read it on the discussing film article, you know.
See, and,
But,
and someone just said it in the chat. Damek said it in chat. Might be time for a Marvel So White. Like, and there's been I've been getting so many comments about this the past 24 hours, and I'm gonna set the record straight. I'm gonna make it real easy for y'all. Y'all don't want a Marvel So White. Y'all, like, I bought the domain just in case, because I was ready to go at Marvel's throat about their publishing already because of the lack of a T'Challa book. Miles is the only book Black ongoing that's coming out. Storm was sabotaged and Morewa got screwed over. I was already ready for a Marvel So White after this. The problem being is that I caught so much heat from doing that boycott where everyone said, oh, you're transphobic. Oh, you hate women, this, that, and the third. You hate Black creators and this, that, and the third. I'm like, all right, so why would I stick my neck out again if y'all torpedoed everything we were working on? And then for people who were involved with the boycott to lie on my name and say that we did things for clout when we didn't, why would I stick my neck out again when y'all don't value activism? Y'all don't value what's been going on. And and the thing is, phase 3 of DC So White is still happening, where like we talked about it on last week's show, where it's going to be DC Black Up. We're going to be like going hard once we have the dates for these books. We're going to be teaching people how pre-orders work and all that in the third. But it's like, why would I go hard at another publisher, a whole other company, if y'all didn't value my message the first time? That's my problem with it. And it's like, I would love to do it, but y'all didn't want to hear me the first time. So it's like,
Maybe
honestly,
I
I
find
like
think
someone
this
else
is
to do that.
this is the
Yeah.
best that you're gonna like, not the best you're gonna get from us, but this is gonna be our ramp up of like holding a little bit of a light to the flame right now so everybody can see what's happening and be like, hey, this is what's going on. If you guys really want to like make a change, we're here for it. We want to talk about it. We're going to continue talking about it. But
Exactly.
you guys also have to kind of jump on the boat with us and understand that like it's gonna get rocky. It's gonna feel like it's a big wave that's gonna hit you because it's supposed to feel scary when you're doing activist stuff. You don't know what's going to happen next. That's the part of change, and change is scary for everyone involved.
Yeah. So it's just
It
like
just
I would. Oh, go
sucks to
ahead.
be in that position where you're trying to do something positive, and when I saw the movement for the first time, I was like, hey, this seems like a good idea, and I'm down for it, and I like this. And you're trying to do something, you're trying to be the change you want to see, and then immediately everyone puts you in that position where it's like, they start questioning your motives, and instead of just trying to work with you, they're immediately hostile. And it's just like, if we're all fighting ourselves, nothing ever gets fixed.
Oh, because like I could imagine, especially with now we find out that Brand New Day is the second biggest opening of any movie period now.
Ever.
Do you know how much heat I probably would have caught is if like right as like all this shit was going down, everyone's like we would have been like boycott a Brand New Day, people would have been laughing at me. Or like if we say boycott Doomsday, people are gonna be like, bro, you're out of your mind. Like and the thing about it is people might say, oh well, you're rolling over for the companies. I'm not rolling over for the companies. Like B said, we're still gonna be shining a light on Black indie creators. We're still gonna be shining a light and trying to educate people. And like me as a journalist, I'm gonna be focused on trying to report about the industry. But like I had 5 different DMs and like over like 50 different comments of people saying, hey, I want you to do Marvel So White. No, you don't. They're like, when's Marvel So White coming? You don't want that because especially just the amount of people that were at my throat. Could you imagine, like, and Xavier knows that, is that what I'm about to say? Could you imagine how many Peter Parker goons would be after my throat if I said boycott Marvel? I would be on fire. People would hunt me down.
I mean, shit, a friend of mine back when we were still like kind of in high school and the original Spider-Man PS4 game came out, was trying to tell everyone to kind of cool it with how much they were kind of brown nosing a certain video game company before the game came out. And he said, all right, you guys have to remember they're a corporation, and as friendly as they are on social media, ultimately what they want is you to remain their loyal customers. They want your sales. They're not your friend. You can't have this weird parasocial relationship with a company thinking that they love you. And he got so blasted on social media by Spider-Man fans for like he couldn't go on Twitter for like 5 days just because it was just endless torrent like hate and threats and insults, just because he said, keep it in your pants when it comes to corpse. They don't love you. They love your money. And that, I mean, I think that's like such a reasonable stance to take. And it's such a normal thing to say, but they lit him up for that. Like he was just like, he was like, I was talking to him and he was like considering like deleting his Twitter just because he was like, I don't think that they're ever going to leave me alone just because of how bad it got.
Someone said, did Xavier make a turkey sandwich video because of this?
Yeah, I made this like video kind of trying to explain what had happened with all the drama regarding that, with a bunch of metaphors about a chef making sandwiches. Just because I was like, how do I explain how annoying this is to people who are not terminally online Spider-Man fans? So I was like, I feel like the only thing that's really universal is food metaphors. So I made like a little short film that was like 3 minutes long to explain all the drama up until that point. I ended up delisting it because my mom's house is visible in those videos. And, my channel wasn't huge at the time, but the bigger I get, the more I'm like, hey, maybe I should kind of hide some of the old vlog stuff, because you could probably figure out where I live if you look at those. If you look at those close, because like some people are like, oh, I shop at that Walmart. I'm like, oh, fuck me, that's bad. I'm hiding that video.
All right, gotta hide some videos now.
Yeah, right. That got scary for a second, because I made a bunch of like vlog content before I really blew up, and like I didn't really think about it at the time because I was still in high school, and I was just like showing my neighborhood and
You're just
like
having
the town I
fun.
live in. You
Yeah.
know, yeah, I was just making videos with my friends, and then as the audience got bigger, people were starting to realize, you know, like they were able to start pinpointing locations, like, oh, I know that park, or oh, I, you know, I've been to that mall before, and I'm like,
Mm.
that's scary. So there's a bunch
Yeah.
of old content from like early days Godzilla Mendoza channel that I had to hide because of that. Because I don't live there anymore. I live in a completely different city now, but I just
Right.
still I'm like, I don't want to get my parents like doxxed, you know?
Yeah, you got the whole fan to worry about. So like it ain't worth doing all that nonsense with it. It's just like, well, it's the way it is. And it's just like that's what's so scary about online culture these days. Where like I had people down my throat this week about Hal Jordan, where they were like, Hal Jordan's the greatest, you don't understand, man. And I'm like, y'all are unhealthy. Y'all need to go outside. As B
Well,
says
it's
every
like
episode,
sometimes
touch
people also
grass.
want you to be an adversary over silly shit, you know? Like
It's
they'll
insane.
just be like, you know, people will pick fights over the silliest things in this community, and
Yeah,
that's kind of why nothing ever gets done. Like no constructive conversations get had, is
And
because we're all
exactly.
splitting hairs about the dumbest shit.
that's the crazy part. Like, I'm down to split hairs with you when it comes down to like comic book lore or like which comic book character is more powerful than the next and stuff like that. But it should
I
just
mean,
come from
we all
like a
love
place
that
of
nerd
passion,
stuff.
you
Like that's
know?
why
And
we do
that's
it, you
where it
know?
should be, is that the passion behind it. You don't need to be like, if you're wrong, something, you're not going to have a house no more kind of thing. Like, no.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like we should all be able to talk about our comic book stuff because, we're passionate about it. We all have some kind of like thrill for a character that, somebody else might not see.
Yeah, so it's really interesting, and I hope that Feige will get back on point and understand the problem here. But until we learn more, and maybe we'll see what happens, I'm praying to God at the very least Sam does not get shafted in Doomsday. I'm hoping that maybe all these weirdos are right. That maybe it's Loki and what happened in the TV show made him worthy because like Loki had a ring on when he was holding the TVA thing, so maybe that's actually Steve. Like maybe it won't be as pressed as it could be, or like maybe like the Russos won't just do wrong by Sam. But as present now, the evidence is looking rough, and we'll have to just wait
Oh
and
yeah, I mean, just
see.
going
Yeah.
off of just what is in the marketing,
Mhm.
things they don't look good, you know?
Yeah,
And
it's really concerning. So we will just have to see. So before the last thing before we jump into the movie review, the book that came out last week that had me just enraptured. I wanted to talk about this. So brand new title from Image Comics came out from Robert Kirkman. Covers from people like Frank Miller, Bill Sienkiewicz, Rob Liefeld. All kinds of amazing folks. I think like someone else did a cover. David Finch did one of the covers. Arthur Adams did a cover, and there was all these different blind bags that came out. And I wanted to not only give our thoughts on issue one, but also talk about the situation that actually Xavier brought to the table because I didn't know this happened. There was blind bags for this issue, and apparently they had released variant covers, not only variant covers, but also different issues that weren't just like the issue one, where like they had like the issue 2, the issue 10, the issue 7, there could be more. And like my friends over at like who I write for, my website Comics Beat, we reported that the book had over 300,000 in sales. And like that, we ain't seen numbers like that since the early 2000s. That's kind of
wow.
crazy. And I'm sitting here like, damn, y'all really like that's gonna make tracking those other issues a nightmare, mind you. But um, Xavier, the guest, what did you think of issue one of Terminal? I really want to get your thoughts on this because, like, it definitely impressed me, but I would love to know what you think.
You know, I was reading it, and I did feel like there was just so much going on so quickly that I was like, those first couple of pages, I felt like was reading the wrong issue. I'm like, is this the issue 10? Because they just throw you right in, and it feels like you just picked up a random issue of a story that was already ongoing. But that's just because
Mm,
everything is so already set in place with what's going on. It just took me a second to like kind of get my bearings as they
I'll be friends.
sort of explain everything to Marilyn, who's in that first issue sort of serves as like the audience surrogate, because as they're
Mhm.
explaining stuff to her, we're starting to pick it up. But it felt to me kind of like I just picked up a random issue of a book at a store and just started reading, and it was like, just here's issue 98 of something, and I'm just jumping straight in. Like it just gets straight to it. Um but also just something about the way the characters are named and their designs feels very intentionally kind of Liefeldian,
It felt
very
very
90s.
90s. Yeah, yeah. I
Very
love
it
that.
felt like I was reading like an old Youngblood, like, the character names like Crusher or Thrasher, like that's
Mhm.
or just like how much that one character kind of looks like the Pit, it's or
Yeah.
everyone feels like they have kind of like this X-Force sort of vibe with their outfits, with the straps and the pouches and everything. I was like, this
Mhm.
feels very much like Robert Kirkman is doing kind of a throwback thing to the edgy 90s stuff that a lot of us like laugh at now, but for a lot of people that was like their introduction to comics. Is
Mhm.
everyone has big shoulder pads and a crazy violent name like Crusher or Thrasher or Stomper or something stupid.
Mhm.
um and but it felt like it was done with like a lot of love, where it's like, yeah, let's do a story like that, but also not as a parody, but as like
Mhm.
a
It's taking
like
itself very seriously, yeah.
yeah, it's like it throws you into this world, and just like how those books did too at the time, it's it's taking this material that's already really in your face and crazy, and is like, no, we're being completely sincere about this though.
Mhm. We are
So
going
I was
balls to
digging
the
it. I was
wall.
liking what I was seeing so far. I feel like it was that first issue was very jarring just to get thrown in, but like I think that was by design, because I know Robert
Mhm.
Kirkman. I mean, he's a fantastic writer. I love Invincible,
Mhm.
Walking Dead. I really love his work on Marvel Zombies. Like that was one of the first
Yes.
books I ever read, was Marvel Zombies. And I know I shouldn't have been reading that when I was 7 years old, but I fucking love Marvel Zombies.
Oh, it's so
So
good.
I
I'm gonna
was
say
like, okay,
yeah.
everything he's doing right now is very intentional, as I think I'm meant to feel kind of discombobulated early on, and then it'll become more clear as we're going through. But
Right. I think that
yeah.
that was the good thing. Yeah. I'm really excited about this book because like you said, it felt like 90s Justice League, 90s Titans, where you're just like, you know what? Stan always said everyone's book could be someone's first. This is your first. And you don't know nothing about nobody. Things are happening, people getting killed, things are going crazy. And it's like, what's going on? And then even when they start to like lull you into that like Neo on the Nebuchadnezzar vibe where you're being brought into the fold and like that certain vibe, and then they defy your expectations. And you're like, oh. And I'm over here like,
Yeah.
is she gonna be all right?
No, yeah, it ends on a cliffhanger that's like, wow, okay, all right, you got me. I got to see what the hell happens next. Just because,
Mhm.
I mean, much like, when you get to the early stuff in Invincible, when the story looks a certain way and then starts being a completely different way.
Mhm.
I mean, Kirkman's good at that rug pull, where you're just like,
Right.
okay, I thought I knew what this was going to be, and now it's a completely different thing. And so I
Mhm.
think that's got me hooked. But I'm also very fascinated by the approach of releasing issues out of order
Right.
chronologically, because I mean, I think the jumping into the book and not knowing what the hell is going on is so by design, that he's even like, oh, let's release issue 10 before we've released issue 9.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
you're
very
supposed to be
odd.
a little confused, and I think that
But
he's
I
doing
love that.
something on purpose with that.
I love that for that reason though, is because when you're reading this first issue, it just literally feels like here's an issue you jump in on, you could read, and it felt like it was a good standalone story to get me excited for what's
Mhm.
going on next. And so that gives me good hopes for whatever we get next is going to be a good standalone story, seeing how the dynamics of how everybody's working together, and then moves on to
Mhm.
the bigger bad that we'll be facing, or the like calamity event that he might be leading up to, or something like that. But the
Mhm.
that 90s feel, I've been talking to like everybody at my comic book shop, and so many people are like coming in with that. Like, I kind of want that nostalgia feeling for like the comedy of the 90s, for how serious it was, And like
Mhm.
he he brought this out, and now it's literally like, this is what you're looking for, guys. This is literally it.
Mhm.
Like, if you're looking for that one little thing that just gives you a little taste of nostalgia but is a new story, that's this.
And like I'm over here like you got like gay Nick Fury, black woman with super strength. It like there's like I remember there was someone on Twitter who called it like DEI Youngblood, and I'm like, well, first of all, Youngblood was already DEI if we actually read the damn book, but like also
I mean,
I'm
yeah,
okay
isn't
with
one of the
that.
main characters in Youngblood gay?
Yeah, like you have one gay, one black. Like hell, like I've been rereading. I've been trying to read all of Spawn because I thought that was a crazy idea that I would do, and
I
even just
couldn't
seeing
do
all
that.
that nonsense, and I'm like, oh god. So Youngblood as a concept, and then we're doing homages to Youngblood. I'm like, you know what? I have my thoughts about Liefeld, but fuck it, why not? I will say though, god damn it, Liefeld, you and these damn foreheads are out of control. What are you doing?
It's crazy when he gives a character like a fade or like a buzz cut, you know, or something, and then you open up the book and they do not have that at all. It's like,
Right,
what?
like the same dude. Where is it? The same dude has just
That
like a
guy does
normal
not have
ass.
that haircut. What is that John
Right. I
Cena
mean, like
thing
he
he's
kind of
wearing?
does. Like he has kind of a fade,
No,
but
but
not
it's
to the
so
extent of like
long on the top and it's got that crazy
right,
swoop, and then you look at it and it's just like, you know, it's like a crew cut. It's like way more toned down.
right. And look at his guns, man. His guns are still
It's just a
so
box.
awkward.
That looks like something a transformer holds.
It looks like Megatron. So yeah, no, definitely check this book out. I think I'm gonna say, B, do you have any more thoughts on this before we wrap up? I think it's a book that everything like if you crave 90s, it's a book for you. But like I don't know if you have any more thoughts on this before we move on to Spider-Man.
Just besides for the artwork being super impressive, that was another thing that pulled me in. Like there was the
yeah.
like one scene to where Crusher
Yeah, Andy
punches
Kubert,
like
yeah.
Breaker in like the face, and then you just see his face like melting off with the nanobots and stuff like that. I was like, ooh, this is disgustingly good. All right. Okay, I
It has
see.
Liefeld's trademark just casual ultra violence. There's some extreme gore, but it's not like exploitative. It's very matter of fact. It's just, yeah, that guy got
Exactly.
exploded into a million chunks. Anyway, moving on to the next thing.
Right. Like it's just casual. Like I remember like I was reading the like there was issue 10 or 11 of Spawn, and they were talking about how, oh you know, just casually like they just lasered Al Simmons to death. And that was the whole thing with dude. And I'm like, casually lasered. Okay, sure. Like Liefeld and McFarlane were on some crazy shit back in the day. And I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
like
wow.
Kirkman loves his extreme violence in his work, and so, you know, when someone gets immediately cut in half and their guts fly out in like page 4, I'm like, yeah, you know, it's a Kirkman book. But
Yeah,
I would say I wanted to ask you, James, since you seem to
What's
be
up?
paying a lot more attention to like market trends with comics than I am, or
For sure.
like, you know, what's kind of, you've got your finger on the pulse of that, I think.
I do
Do
my
you
best.
think this blind bag approach is what's causing this to be such a success so far? Like, I mean, I know some people have been very not on board with the blind bag thing. So I was curious to get your take
It's
on
a
that. How do you think that contributes?
It's a double-headed sword. Well, no, double-headed dragon rather, because like it's you have the people who really enjoy the blind bag concept, like they're feeding into like the trading card gimmick. You had the Ultimate Endgame ones that had it. You had Daredevil that had it. I think like DC has a book recently that did blind bags, but there's two facets that blew up this book to where it's at 300,000 copies. You have the blind bags, but also because of Kirkman having like being 2 for 2 on adaptation successes, I think like the different websites like Key Collector and the comic book shops know what Kirkman book's gonna bang. So similar to how Absolute Batman is always gonna move like units in a comic shop right now, or same thing with like normal Batman or Amazing Spider-Man, people are willing to push Kirkman, especially because we just came off of the Battle Beast blind bags they had, which ties into Invincible. We just had the Battle Beast blind bags that did very well. So comic shops are more willing to mess with Kirkman compared to other people who do blind bags. Like if it was just a random book like Gun Honey blind bags, people would be like, well, that's a Gooner book, but like we're not gonna buy too many blind bags for that. But like with this is specifically them going, we trust Kirkman to move units, so we're going to go in on Kirkman because he knows how to move units. So Yeah,
I
that's
wanted to
kind of where
ask
I'm at with
the
it.
typical approach with blind bags is that it's just different variant covers, right? Like you still know
Normally,
what book
yeah,
you're getting in this. He's
yeah,
taken advantage of it and is like, you may not even know what issue you're getting because fucking people were pulling out issue 10 or
yeah,
7, completely out of order, which also is I'm like wondering, what is the production cycle for this book like? Like,
yeah. That's gotta be interesting.
did they produce like 10 issues first and are putting them out of order weird, or did they specifically do 10, 1, 2, 7, and 10, and then they're going to go fill in the rest? Like, I'm sure he wrote everything first, but I'm
So
wondering, like,
from
what was
what I
the writing or what was the drawing and
from
publishing of
so
this like?
I shot a message to a insider, well, like when you told me about it, I shot a message over to him and I was like, hey, do you have any information on this? And he said, yeah, no, there was probably a limited amount of the subsequent issues that were printed just for the gimmick, but the targeted sales will be like the correct solicited month. So we will probably see, like, I don't know if we'll ever be able to track the correct sales for these issues other than what comes out during the original like solicited month. So like this coming month for August will be issue 2. We'll see sales for that
We
version
can't
of
count
issue
the issue
2.
twos that
Yeah,
people already
basically,
got.
yeah. It's gonna be those rare books that someone just got a copy of, basically. Like the issue 7s and the issue 10s, that's gonna be a whole different category. It's kind of like how like
I mean, it's like,
Minecraft speedrunners will have like different scores for a different patch kind of thing, where it's like it's going to
yeah,
be a
it's like
different kind of grading
taking the
scale.
blind bag concept to its logical conclusion and treating
Mhm.
the comic issues like the whole issue itself
Yeah,
is like a trading card now instead of
pretty
just the
much.
cover. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
I got a super rare issue 10 before, like 2 months before, or 10 months before that even came out. I have that.
yeah. And
That's
I
just
think
nuts.
this is
It's
the
such a
yeah,
weird
this is the
approach, but I kind of
craziest
dig
version.
it.
Right. Like it's the like I
I
think
mean, it would
the,
piss
the
me off like trying to read it concurrently, but
yeah.
at the same time, I see the vision about why that would get
Yeah.
like a hardcore collectors excited.
And
I like the idea for the collectors, but then I think he
the
really
casual
pushed
fan.
but he really pushed it well for the casual fan, I think, because I still have like blind bags of Thundercats sitting on the shelf. I have like old blind bags from the 90s or like the poly bags that still haven't been opened up that are in like back catalogs still that like only collectors are now going to pick up,
Mm.
versus this one. I feel like it really snags on that gambling addict for us collectors. It really does. I hate to
Mm.
say it, like it really
Comic
got
book
people
loot
hooked.
boxes.
Right?
Yeah. That's what kind of concerns me. And here's my I
I
have
mean,
like
this
the
could be
yeah.
fun or it could be the downfall of comics forever.
Right. And here's my biggest fear with this because there's two different sides to this. If you I don't know if you guys peeped this when you were going to read the issue, but when you go on Sweet Shop, the issue 1 is the only thing that's on Sweet Shop. And not the issue 7 or the 10 or whatever else, only the issue 1. So this is probably the first recorded, to my knowledge, the first recorded like since digital blew up of other issues being put out into the wild before they were available digitally. And that's a whole new system and a whole new gamble. And I'm gonna reach out to the creator of Sweet Shop here, like once we're done with the show, because I have another question to ask him as well. Like for an article, because it is really mind blowing to me that digital, like this might be the way to combat digital in a way, where like people were already kind of concerned that digital might overtake physical comics because of the Sony nonsense with like that affecting video games. But this might be a whole different situation of straight up, yes, we are going to like do different kinds of gimmicks and different things like that in a way to make it to where physical is where you want to buy, where you don't want to go to digital as your only option. And I'm kind
Because
of
like
sitting here
with
like,
digital, you
huh.
know what you're gonna get, but with the blind bags and the physical, now it's become this like game of like trying to see what rare drop you get. So now it's and you kind of can't copy that digitally on these platforms the same way. So I mean, it could be smart, it could be cool, as long as people don't learn the wrong lesson from it.
I'm actually kind of intrigued. Okay, so like no one's spiking these just yet. Okay, cool. So I wanted to check eBay while we were live, because no, like right now the issue 10 and the issue 2 are not going higher than $10. So speculators are
Wow.
not just marking these up crazy amounts for these advanced copies. So that's kind of cool. But like I'll even put it on screen. If you look at, well, you can even see here on over here. Oh, on the Bleeding Cool article. If you look at this, it says ultra rare advanced edition. So it does prove what my contact said, that yes, these editions, these prints are technically the recorded first print. And that is going to be a game changer. If anybody else follows suit with this is going to be a game changer, where this is like, imagine if DC would have did this with Absolute Batman, where no, the number one isn't the first edition. The ultra rare advanced edition is the most highest.
You would be seeing people be like, 1,000. I need 1,500 for that. $2,000 for the first issue. You would be seeing people going crazy for that. So like, good or bad, like, I mean, as much as I want these companies to make money because I want to see more of these characters come out, I also want these companies to know you're not just going to get my money willy-nilly like that. So like, you guys got to play it smart.
This is gonna be
that's what I'm talking about with my concerns, though, is like if other comic publishers take the wrong lesson from this and try and copy it the wrong way, we're gonna end up with like
90s level gimmicks, like titanium covers and shit.
Well, but we're also gonna see like speculators just like eBay scalping issues for $3,000, like B was saying. Like, it's just gonna become insane. And then it's just gonna be like, well, then you've ruined it. Now no one can enjoy this, and now no one can get their hands on these.
This has to, like, I'm hoping this is like a Kirkman level exclusive thing only, because
I want him to do this experiment and then like kind of retire it before it gets bad. I don't want this to be like his new thing that he does with all of his books forever. Like, I could see that going very poorly in the long run. But I mean, at the very least, right now, it is interesting, and it is cool to see someone trying new things with the physical comic market, because I feel like that whole thing has been very stagnant for a very long time.
Oh yeah, that's a whole topic in its own right, because physical comic books have been I will say this, if it weren't for Absolute Batman coming in and just cracking the whip and getting everyone back on game, the physical market would be a lot different. Like, especially when everyone's like, oh, well, does this mean physical comic books are going to be dying? If you'd asked me that a year ago, maybe we could have had that conversation, or like a year and a half ago before Abs came out. But now we gonna be sitting here kind of comfy for a little bit, because there was a recorded sale of the blueprint variant for Absolute Batman #1 by Nick Dragata, selling for $1,200. Oh, we gonna be good for a little bit, I think. So that's all I'm gonna say to that.
Always bet on Scott Snyder.
That man is a genius.
You got Scott doing Batman, you know it's gonna sell for him.
See, now I'm about to try to scoop up these freaking advanced editions before someone else gets them.
Are you trying to buy them right now?
I'm broke. I can't do it right now, but I'm about to have to look into that. That's crazy. Apparently, there was even another the issue 7. I think the issue 7 by Finch goes hard. I'm like, oh, you might have.
So do you think when they do the proper releases of these issues later, do you think those will have different covers from these? Like, are they going to do a whole new cover?
Think about that.
If they're smart, I think they would. They would do the like exclusive blind bag covers kind of thing, and then flip it around and do variant covers for other things.
So not just it doesn't just have a little watermark in the corner saying, ultra rare variant. It'll also have just a completely new cover too for those original editions. I think that would be.
That's gonna be nuts. See, now I'm about to be really tuned in for issue 2, because that's gonna be crazy. Okay.
Well, okay, all right. I hadn't even heard about this book until you told me to read it for this.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, hold on, something crazy. This is gonna be moving things. This is gonna be changing things.
I'm excited. This is gonna be fun. Okay. So
I'm glad you told me to go get on top of that, because I've been so behind on my comics lately. I've been working so hard.
If you need Rex, let me know, man. Because I definitely feel like you, as one of the OG comic book adaptation people, there's a lot of shit that's not Spider-Man that you could be reading right now that would be really good for you, because like Spider-Man.
I haven't read a new issue of Spider-Man since the Nick Spencer run ended.
let me put it to you this way. Peter's been in space for a hot minute, and
I know. I don't care.
everybody's prepping for issue 1000 when Norman apparently is going to be back to being Green Goblin, but he's been prepping all the other Spider people to be ready to fight him, and I'm like, the fuck? So it's just
Yeah, I know.
it's a mess.
I don't go read it, but I at least check in with people who do, and I'm like, hey, what's going on with Spider-Man right now? And every time they tell me, I go, okay, yeah, I'm still gonna not read it now that you've given me that report, because it never sounds like something that I would personally like.
Right.
It never
And
sounds interesting to me.
It was to the
Like
point where,
I sat out a whole Paul years. I wasn't there for
Oh.
anything in the Zeb Wells run. I
could imagine you covering Zeb Wells. You covering Zeb Wells would have been the funniest ish on the planet, and I'm kind of sad that that needs to be a retrospective like ASAP as you covering the Paul years, bro.
Give me a few years to so it's weird. I feel like so hurt and so like my trust is so damaged by Amazing Spider-Man that I do not want to read it. Like,
that's valid. That's valid.
Like, I'm so emotionally invested in not reading it now because I feel like if I pick it up again, I'm just gonna get disappointed again. How long has it been since the Nick Spencer run ended? Like, that was the last time that I really.
I'm actually curious because I haven't been paying attention.
When did Kindred just completely implode on itself? And it's like, oh yeah, it's Harry Osborn's cybernetic clone.
It's been 5 years,
ghost.
brother. It's been 5 years.
Fuck me. Yeah, Harry Osborn's cybernetic brain in a robot computer and his ghost clone made by Mephisto and his bastard children clones that are designed to look like Gwen Stacy, but we hypnotized Norman Osborn to think that he had sex with Gwen Stacy, but it was Mysterio hypnotizing him. Like,
Did I take my psilocybin tea a little bit early? Because I'm a little confused here.
B, when I tell you that if you ever sit down and try to read Amazing Spider-Man, your brain's gonna hurt. Like, genuinely, it will make you want to just like claw your eyes out.
Impenetrable now. Like, you cannot get into the amount of crap going on. Like, those books are so not like new reader friendly. They're so like stacked with bad continuity where it's just like retcons and retcons and retcons on top of each other to the point that like the book is just completely just like encumbered with garbage. Like, it's just like, yeah, we're stuck with Mary Jane as Venom currently. Green Goblin was shot with a magic shotgun that takes away your evil and makes him a good person. Spider-Man is in space. Ben Reilly is a villain, but not.
Okay, so we're gonna play a game because I want to like because B is like the casual Marvel person, and I genuinely want to like hold on because I gotta find the like the.
I love Marvel so much, and I also hate Marvel so much.
Because so like okay,
like, so James, would you say I'm the biggest Spider-Man fan you know?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I'm at the stage of my life where I really hate Spider-Man.
That's everybody. Okay, so B, forget about what Xavier just told you for like 2 seconds. I want you to forget. I want you to look at all 4 of these covers for All New Venom, which I think All New Venom started. What was it? It was last year. All New Venom came out a year ago. You had 5 different options. You had 5 different options for the all new Venom, where the Venom symbiote was going to choose a new host. You had Robbie Robertson, you had Madam Mask, Rick Jones, Luke Cage, or Mary Jane Watson. Now, tell me who you think a black and gold Venom could have been.
I mean, looking at this here, it has to be Luke Cage. I'm just saying, like the suit just fits
his yellow shirt.
Suit just fits him perfectly.
He's the only person there who doesn't have like a ridiculous inflated symbiote muscles. That's just actually how he's built.
Well, and here's the really wild one. Like, I really want to like there was a streetwear variant that I need to show B because what was it? There was the Uick streetwear. So they did this whole trend where they have these streetwear variants for all the different like Marvel superheroes. And if you saw this streetwear Venom,
That's
who would you
official.
think?
I thought that was just really cool
that's
fan art.
No, that's an official variant cover. If you saw that variant, who do you think is in that Venom symbiote?
That's Luke Cage. That's
That
Luke
is
Cage
Mary
walking
Jane
down.
Watson, son. That is
That's
Mary
not
Jane
Mary.
Watson.
No. The Mary Jane don't got swagger like that. That's a black man swagger in that walk. I've never seen Mary Jane have black man swagger like that. No.
That man's got his sneakers looking fresh, jacket on deck, and you're telling me that's Mary Jane Watson, bro? I think pissed.
When they had the artist draw that, because I think I've seen fan art from that same artist before doing those same covers. It was
a whole like line of variant covers.
I think it must have been like we didn't tell that artist because it was a surprise. You had to wait like 5 issues to find out. So they were just like, draw Venom, this design of Venom in casual streetwear, and then it just creates this weird thing where it's like, oh well, we're almost at the point where we're like visually lying to the audience just because the artist has no idea who it is either.
I feel like that's
if
a
they had
rug pull
told
of the
him that it was
century
Mary
right
Jane,
there.
if they told him that it was Mary Jane, he probably would have done it differently.
Oh, probably because like when they like revealed the issue where she came out as Venom, I kind of just sat there and was like, "Are you serious? Like, this is what you do to me? This is what you're gonna pitch to people?" And
well,
like,
we need to keep her away from Peter, so we got to give her something to do. But she's not allowed to have interesting stories as a civilian. She can't be an actress, right? I mean, that's who
I mean, they already did that with Wonder Man. Who needs to know about stories about actors and actresses? That's lame.
Yeah, no, like she can't be. She can't be an interesting character being a civilian. She needs to be some supervillain, superhero identity. So she's going to be Jackpot, and then like no one's buying that. Okay, she's just completely throw everything that Donny Cates did with Venom in the trash. All right, she's Venom now.
I remember when because Bleeding Cool leaked this last page, and then Marvel had to put it out. And when I saw this, I was so mad, bruh. Like, and someone even said in chat, "Why y'all disrespecting Mary Jane actors?" No. Here's the thing: it's not Mary Jane that's the problem. It's that she could have been doing anything else, and you made her Venom. Why? And it looks so obvious. Now, granted, apparently they're changing the look of it in the most recent issues, where it's obviously her with like red hair as the Venom and whatnot, like her hair sticking out. And I'm like, that's cool. I mean, but I'm also like,
I don't. You see, actually, if I'm gonna
just saying,
flip it on the other side, I don't mind that the symbiote does not look like her normal body type, because that's just adds to a secret identity. That's part of her disguise, But also, like, why does she have to be like a femme presenting Venom? Like, who cares? Like, it's a monster that looks like whatever you want it to look like. So I actually will defend the keeping like the Eddie Brock body type, but having her inside. I actually think that's fine.
Like this is how it looks now. Like,
and then that looks bad though, because then why do you got to put her stupid hair? Is the symbiote making red tendrils all over the back, or does it just have a big hole in the head for her hair to fly
it's like
out?
Scream,
like
where like randomly, just like the hair is just everywhere, and just let's divorce ourselves from Al Ewing.
Do you remember when Anne Wang had the symbiote?
I hate to say it, but I really feel like that's a she spawn right there. Like, I really feel like I'm seeing she spawn on the screen.
Hold on. Because She Spawn just came out, and that's been a fun thing to talk about recently. Because they just made it Jessica Priest, and it's been lit as hell. But that remember it's just She Spawn. You literally Al Ewing just made She Spawn. Yeah.
Let me guess, Todd doesn't want to sell action figures of her because he's an old man.
I mean, Todd just gave the book to Matthew Rosenberg finally, and then Gail Simone is writing She Spawn, which is the craziest thing.
No, I'm shit talking that thing he said a few years ago about female action figures for the DC multiverse line.
Oh,
yeah.
Because
there's a obnoxious lack of female figures from DC's McFarlane's DC line,
which is crazy because he showed new ones at Comic-Con. So I think he might have got pushback from
I
them.
think they're just trying to get everything out they can right now before they lose the license to Mattel. But a few years ago, McFarlane just totally like put his foot in his mouth on like a podcast or something where he was like, little boys don't want action figures of girl characters. If a boy opened an action figure on Christmas morning and he opened it and saw it was Wonder Woman, he would be disappointed. And that's why he's deprioritizing. This is years old. I'm surprised you don't know about this. And that's why DC Multiverse line did not prioritize female action figures. And he said little boys who do want female action figures are probably going to grow up to be serial killers. And I think he was trying to be funny, but everyone's like, what the fuck, man? And it's like, okay, that's why there's no Harley Quinn. That's why there's no fucking Poison Ivy. That's why there's no like that whole action figure line is so devoid of female figures. It's just wall-to-wall Batmans and Supermans that all look terrible.
Aren't comic books kind of for the age range of like males of like
why I didn't know about it.
12 to 16 when we're most at our like pre-pubescent stage, being pumped full of hormones? Seeing a comic book chick is going to be one of our biggest things that we're going to buy.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing is like, you're not capitalizing off the fact that comic book fans are horny, like male and female alike.
They've been doing that for years.
Like what planet does he live on? I'm like, are you from the 50s? How do you work at an action figure company and you're this out of the loop on what people want from action figures?
Right? Like hands down, I know if you end up dropping like an Emma Frost one nowadays, everybody's gonna go crazy for that.
People are already buying that Malice figure from Marvel Legends with the
exactly.
I found the clip. Oh shit! I straight up found the clip because I was like, I want to know.
Yeah, go ahead. This is a real thing. This is a real quote. He said 2022. Yeah, this was years old now. I've been pissed about this for years.
Again, I'm not saying that I can't sell a female superhero, which I can. What I'm saying is that I can't do an entire line of 4 figures in one series of nothing but females and put it in the boys action aisle. Can I sell it as an Amazon exclusive or a Spawn.com exclusive? Yeah, maybe, but not at the boys action figure aisle. There's a reason why it's called boys action figure aisle. Your son comes home and he gets straight A's for a year, and you go, you know what, we're gonna buy you a gift. Your dad and I are going out, and we're gonna bring you a gift. We're gonna bring you action figure. Oh, I'm gonna get me this girl figure, and then you're gonna come home and you're gonna give it to your kid. He's gonna be super anxious because you're waiting all day, and then you're gonna pull out of the bag and you're gonna give it to him, and he's gonna go, but he's just gonna ask, thank you, but before I go to my room, can I just sort of ask a couple questions, Mom and Dad? Did they have any superhero dudes? Oh yeah, okay. Did they have any robots? Oh yeah, lots of robots. Should have seen monsters, of course. Creatures, yes.
Okay, I can't take it anymore. That
yeah, right.
Like, this is twice now within a 5-year span that McFarlane has put his foot in his mouth. Between this and the AI nonsense, I think McFarlane needs to just
he's being such a boomer about shit lately.
Right. Like, I don't want to say shut up and dribble, but this is one of those times where like, oh man, maybe you should just like sign your books on whatnot and like not say bad takes, because like maybe you should check with your publicist before you make outlandish statements. Like, I'm just, oh no,
the craziest
man.
thing for me is that like Wonder Woman is an example, especially with like the Absolute series that has came out. I have gotten so many guys coming in and pulling that book there's dudes that are excited about Wonder Woman. Like, you got a whole new generation of guys that are like thrilled to know about Wonder Woman now. Like, I'm just dumbfounded by that. That's just really what it is. I'm dumbfounded. Jeez.
Well, yeah, it's just such an old mentality. Like, I think the strength of Todd early in his career that he was not this kind of guy that he is now. He was willing to do things that were risky and different. He was willing to push boundaries, and now he is the boundaries. Like, he's just, I don't know. He's got so sedentary, and he's not trying to think outside the box anymore. Now he's in a box, and it's sad to see, because I mean, he was a revolutionary, and now suddenly he's on this weird like sexist 50s mentality.
Between this and then him like being like going full corporate and buying into the AI nonsense, it's like
And
you
fuck that
like
too.
like especially because I remember there was a quote from his Robert Kirkman's Secret History of the Secret History of the Superheroes, where they did a whole episode about image history, and Liefeld joked about it, McFarlane joked about it, that straight up when McFarlane walked out of Marvel, he talked about how when his dad worked at the mill, they gave him a watch for all of his service and this, that, and the third, that Marvel doesn't care about their artists and all this, that, and the third. And I'm like, if you claim you care so much about artists and care so much about artists' rights, you talk so much back in the day about how you hated what happened to Jack Kirby and that he didn't own any of his own shit, and then you sit here and say you're okay with generative AI. Now I'm finding out that you've been sexist or having sexist takes for God knows how long. Because one of my best online friends, Ian, this man loves Mara, like Aquaman Mara, and loves Poison Ivy. Some kids are going to be down with female characters, like genuine, or like someone just said in chat, Wonder Woman is the first superhero I ever saw on TV. Shout out to Linda Carter. So many fans love female superheroes, and you're telling me you ain't gonna have no sales? Sounds iffy to me, brother. I'm just saying, like,
you know, that's the other thing. That's how you get kids into these characters, is like, you don't treat it like it's like lame. It's like you give that kid a damn action figure of a superhero, regardless of what they got in their pants, and they go, superheroes are fucking cool. And then they'll just be a fan. Like, you could turn whatever kid into a lifelong Catwoman fan if you got him a cool figure of her, and he was like, you know, just wants to go read up on that character, see, you know, what she's like in the animated stuff or in the video games. Like, it's just, he's like shutting out the idea of people getting into new things. And yeah.
It locks out the passion that you get behind comics. It really does. Because, like, just because I may have not found Wonder Woman entertaining when I was 8 years old doesn't mean that my, like, 13-year-old sister also didn't find Wonder Woman entertaining at that time. Just because I, as somebody who was more interested in, let's just say, the Joker, doesn't mean that the person I'm sitting next to in class isn't going to be interested in Wonder Woman. Like, there's such a huge
the other thing too,
scale
is like,
that's out there.
It's also, he's acting like, you know, people who are into comic book figures or comic books are just guys, and it's like, we know that's not true anymore. I mean, sure, we're in a little bit of a bubble, you know, we're you know, but like, my sister has been collecting fucking action figures of Marvel characters since she was like 10. She's 19 now. She is obsessed with Nightcrawler, like, because I showed her old episodes of X-Men the animated series when she was little, and suddenly, like, X-Men 97 is coming out and Nightcrawler is a headlining character. She was so fucking excited. She started buying figures, going to the comic book store and getting all like the old Nightcrawler 90s series, you know. And I was like so happy to share that with her, because I'm a lot older than my little sister. I kind of helped raise her a little bit for a little while.
Nice.
And so being able to have that, you know, generational thing of, because that's what another thing that comic books is so great at, is that you can share it from like one generation to the next, you know, giving kids this stuff and letting them find their niche. Like, I didn't tell her which character to like. If I did, she probably would have been more of a fucking Spider-Man fan or a Deadpool fan. But I was showing her all kinds of, just a big grab bag of random Marvel stuff.
You mean you didn't make her a Mayday Parker fan, Xavier?
Yeah, right. You know, I showed her a bunch of stuff, like a big grab bag of Marvel stuff that I kind of liked, and let her figure out what she gravitated towards. She's named after an X-Men character, so obviously that was an in. And then suddenly now she's big on X-Men. She is like obsessed with X-Men. She makes her own X-Men OCs and writes her own X-Men fanfics, you know. She's always drawing the characters and doing fan art. And it's like, if you don't share this stuff with kids without, you know, doing this weird like gendered toys bullshit, like, oh, the girls need to have an easy bake and the boys need to have a football. If you put all that out of your mind and just let kids be kids and look at this stuff and play with it and enjoy it, that's how you get yourself a fucking lifelong customer for your comic book company or your toy company. Is, I think Todd is hurting his sales. There's plenty of people who could have gotten into this shit and then will stay into the shit forever if you just didn't have that old head mentality of like, oh, you know, little kids are only going to like very specific things. Like, let them find what they like.
Oh, for sure. All right.
So,
So
yeah.
the
I know we got like way off.
Oh no,
topic
you're
with
fine. No,
all
it was
that,
definitely
but
worth
I just
talking
feel
about for
so
sure.
strongly about that.
You know, I definitely agree with you. Like it's nonsense that it's been like that. But now that we've had some of the best content that everyone could ask for, because like there's been people in the chat asking for it because they want to know Xavier's thoughts. Let's go ahead and get into the mix here, folks. Because Spider-Man, brand new day.
This isn't even my podcast. What
I
are
know,
your
right?
guys' thoughts, right? You know, I'm a guest.
Hey, but we love you here though. That's the thing. And Spider-Man Brand New Day came out this past weekend. I just left the theater hours ago. These fellas saw it like a couple days ago. And
yeah, I wanted to give it time to like really sit because you know, when you're coming out of the theater and it's like the first thing that you're talking about, there's a little bit of recency bias. I wanted to sit with it, and I think even after about 2 days, yeah, I think I liked it, which is
okay.
I'm very pleasantly surprised by because I have not liked Tom Holland's Spider-Man movies thus far
Really?
for the most part.
Okay.
No. I mean, okay. I used to get into fights with people about Spider-Man Homecoming on Twitter right after that came out. And it got so nasty that I learned like, okay, Tom Holland stans who don't even care about comic books. They just like him. They just like Tom Holland, the actor, are so gung-ho and so like militant that maybe it would be better for me and my mental health if I just didn't talk about
That's
my
valid.
opinion of these movies a whole lot. I was like, this is like an off limits topic. So I don't like Homecoming. I really, really don't like Homecoming.
Valid. Okay.
And I think Far From Home gets a lot of very valid criticism. There's a lot of stuff about it that's not great, but I at least am able to watch that one. Like I'm like, yeah, this is fine.
You down with Night
like,
Monkey, huh? You really vibe with that?
Yeah, right. There's I think a lot of stuff I didn't like about Homecoming at least got a little better by Far From Home, like the stuff that I specifically was not cool with. And then I mean it's hard to really have it's hard to hate on No Way Home particularly because it's just a big nostalgia blast and it's just like the fan service movie of all time. But if we're talking in like Tom's solo projects, yeah, I haven't totally loved the way they've characterized Peter Parker though thus far because they make him very dependent on other superheroes. He always needs to find a tall bearded white man to be his mentor. He needs some kind of father figure. He's got to have a mentor. He needs, and it's like,
this was the first one where it felt like he wasn't a mentor. You just happened to be there. Like this is light spoilers. We're gonna let chat know when spoilers start. But like obviously Frank's in the trailer. So
I told my wife before we went into the movie, if he calls him Mr. Castle at any point, I'm walking out.
I loved it the whole time, calling him Frank and like the go home Frank at the beginning.
The go home Frank was perfect.
Like that, excellent. Like I was clapping for that.
Or kicking him in the face through the back of his van. This is in the trailer, and then like bloodying up the Punisher.
Like, nope, stop it.
You know, that's cool. I'm like, finally, give him some fucking spine. You know, let him talk back to a grown up and stop being such a little kid. Because he, the Mr. Stark stuff just grates on my nerves, and Homecoming is the worst movie about Mr. Stark because. Yeah. At least in Far From Home, Iron Man's dead. You know?
Yeah. And like here was the thing that really irked me because like I know like this is gonna come off very purist of me, but like there's like this, I think if I had one critique about the whole damn movie, about the whole like this is like the whole Tom Holland era, there's something that kind of irks my spirit about Ben's tombstone not being next to May's. And
we still don't even know what's going on with that.
Right. We have never visited it. We never talked about it. No flashbacks, no nothing. Like there was a small little mention of it in Homecoming and that was it. We've never like talked about Ben at all other than that. And I'm sitting here like.
He might not even be dead.
He might have just divorced her and moved on for all we know.
Well, because
And
like
that
when
bothers me.
it was so weird when Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man talk about Uncle Ben.
Mhm.
Tom Holland Spider-Man gives them this blank stare, like he has no idea what the hell they're talking about. And
Mhm.
I think they wrote it that way to be ambiguous because they still have not decided if they want Ben to even exist or not. So that could be
Mhm.
either, I don't know who that is. What are you talking about? Or, oh yeah, I had an Uncle Ben too. I understand. But I'm just focused. Like it's
Mhm.
just this weird pregnant pause of him just,
Yeah.
uh-huh. So
But
anyway,
I do
getting
love
off of
Toby
that
being
name, that 3-letter
yeah.
name we're never gonna say again.
But then like Toby's like, I'm sorry about May. I get what you're going through. Even though Rosemary Harris is still chugging, I understand you're in pain. And I'm like, come on, guys. Like, it's frustrating because like I think I think the best way I can phrase it, I want to echo, like, this is gonna sound really crazy of me specifically saying this. I'm going to echo something Frank Miller said. And that sounds like insane for me. I know, right? Like, 'cause Xavier and I have had talks, but I'm going to echo something Frank Miller said after he saw the movie. This is the most Steve Ditko Tom Holland has ever been. This is the most Steve Ditko Spider-Man movie we've had, period.
I will put a big asterisk on that.
Okay, go
I
for it.
think we still have not quite mastered the lost art of writing Spider-Man taunt dialogue in fight
Ooh.
scenes.
The closest
I
we got
think
was
we're
that stretch
back now.
thing. That was the closest we
That
got.
I think that's the closest we got this time. I think we're now back at about where Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man was, where he'll say like one thing kind of like that per movie, and then most of the time will be pretty serious.
Right.
I want
It's very
Spider-Man to
interesting.
be a little mean. The key word is a little, because if you make him too mean, he comes off as like a dick, and like the audience doesn't like him. But like, and I
Yeah.
think this is what Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man kind of excelled at, is he should
Got a
just
quip, damn it.
he should have kind of a low opinion of you for being a supervillain. Like you, because it goes along with his whole mentalities of great power, great responsibility. You have this great power, and you could be doing so many great things with it. And you're out here robbing people or fighting people or breaking shit and being a nuisance or like, or trying to just genuinely kill people. And I think he should not respect you because of that, just a little bit. And so
Right.
he should be talking to people in a way that implicates that. Is that
I will give
I
chat
think
this.
you're
There
a
was
little
a
bit
couple
of a
Scorpion
clown.
lines. Yeah, there was a couple Scorpion
Yeah,
lines
yeah,
where I was like, yeah, you
I mean, it was
trying,
a
but like,
pun.
yeah, that was more of a pun, but it was like there wasn't extensive quips, and it was like, I need Spider-Man to like don't be Deadpool, but don't be like Batman. I need you to balance the
because
art,
like
and I don't. We
that's
haven't
the other
got
thing
there
is I
yet.
think for a long time people misconstrued it as Spider-Man needs to be funny, and I don't think he needs to be funny. I don't think he needs to be jokey and comical. I think he just needs to have like a dry wit. He needs to be sarcastic. He needs to be saying things that are kind of a little bit derogatory towards the people he's fighting.
Like, oh,
But
guns, my
like
weakness.
it doesn't need to be
that
like
kind of
laugh out
shit.
loud hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my weakness, small knives. Like he's making fun of that guy, right?
Yeah.
Like or like when Andrew Garfield's teasing the guy for going out the window, like he's humiliating the bad guy a little bit. I think we just need
Exactly.
a little bit more Andrew Garfield energy, just a little bit more, and then we're set. Because otherwise, I think this is the most that Tom Holland has actually acted like Peter Parker in a movie, because he's not constantly deferring to an older
Somebody else.
male authority figure to ask what to do.
Like he went to Banner for science stuff, not for like I need advice. It's I need technological advice, which I can understand that because that would be something like he could like if we weren't trying to work out that whole we need to have one Marvel or like a certain amount of Marvel characters per movie thing, like that could have been Connors. Like that could have easily been Connors that could have helped him because that's been done before. So it's like we could have easily
Dr.
had that
Connors.
discussion.
I've said this before in videos. Is Dr. Connors and Dr. Banner are weirdly interchangeable.
Yes,
they have the exact same skill set, the exact same personality almost, and the exact same problem. And so for Spider-Man stories, you can use either or, and it would still work perfectly for whatever you need to do.
That was one of the things I loved about the movie, though, is that like we got to see a more adult Spider-Man, and I think that was one of the things that it almost felt like this was like our coming of age Spider-Man for Tom at this point. You know, we were able to see him in his prime, basically being able to be a full Spider-Man, and he's just engulfed himself in that, and it was just that those beginning shots were beautiful for
Yeah,
me. It
that
really like
montage was cool.
exactly
That's like
what
some of
was
the
his
best
name?
world building we've had in an MCU movie in a long time,
L-
because it's
l-
nice to know the characters are doing things when you're not looking at them. They
And
have
shout out to the
lives.
speculator market. Shout out to the speculator market. All these fools were spending so much money. If you would have been eyeing key collectors, like a trending in
I
10 in
gotta get the
2020,
first appearance of Tarantula.
bruh, it's been out of control. Like first appearance of Tarantula, first appearance of Hard Hat. I'm like, y'all are out of control out here, thinking this is gonna be like he's gonna have full-on fight scenes with these people. And even shout out to Comic Tommy, he called it perfectly. He was like, this is gonna be just montage worthy. The
These
most you'll
shots
get
you're
is
seeing
probably
in the trailer are that's it.
like they
That's what
had
you get.
comic book accurate shots. Like Boomerang was cool for a moment, like Hard Hat, all that fun stuff. It was cool, but you're never gonna see those people again besides Scorpion. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna keep it a whole omnibussy with you.
My hopes for Scorpion is that he is just a recurring loser chud who shows up in all
Like
three
Shocker in the
movies of this
PS4
trilogy.
game. Like he just happens
Yeah,
to be that dude.
he just shows up in each of these 3 movies in this trilogy, is kind of like sort of tangentially related to the plot, and gets beat up and then goes away until we see him again. I like the idea of just a recurring loser supervillain, and Scorpion is perfect for that.
Yeah,
That's
it's
excellent for
very perfect.
Spider-Man in like normal just startups, because one of the issues that I felt like I was going to have in this movie is that if they didn't give me that lived in Marvel world, because we are at that point now, I need to just make sure that these feel like comic book movies that I'm getting, to where it feels like it's a comic book story. You may not know why Punisher's there, but Punisher's there, you know? Like
Yeah,
I
they have
enjoy
a
that.
history we didn't even get to see. Like there's
Yeah.
something that happened
And
with
that
them.
was
Like
both
we've been
Doesn't
beefing
matter,
for
characters.
5 years. There's stuff going down. Like I've thrown your ass in prison a couple of times. Like we've been down this road.
Exactly, and they're hinting at something even bigger, to where it's like, do you remember, I can't remember if it was Manhattan or not, but like
Staten
whenever
Island.
Staten Island, there we go. Do you remember Staten Island? And like that's perfect because it gives you as the
It
audience
gives Budapest vibes where it's like
Yes,
you hinted
exactly.
at
it's like there's a
something.
whole
Yep.
adventure that happened with those 2 characters, and we don't even need to see it. I hope we don't ever see it. I'm totally
Mhm,
fine just getting to let
mhm.
my imagination roll and just imagine what that storyline was like, where something happened where like Punisher and Spider-Man know each other. They already have a rapport going. Is this may be their second time meeting? This may be their 5th or 10th time meeting. Doesn't matter. Cape recognizes Cape. It's like you're picking up a random issue of the book and you're just opening it, and Punisher's there, and it's like, yeah, I've already bumped into Spider-Man so many times now. We've got this fucking rivalry going. Like I like that, you know?
It was very well done.
It doesn't hold your hand like you're watching your first Spider-Man movie, but
Right.
it also it lets you feel like the characters just exist outside of what you're seeing. You're just popping in with them for this particular adventure. But Spider-Man's going to go do stuff after this, and he's doing stuff before this that I don't get to see. And that's fine. You know, I
Very
like
much
that the
so.
characters have lives. Even like MJ and
Yes.
Ned have lives now. They're not just
Mhm.
accessories to Peter. They're doing stuff.
Yes. So this is your spoiler warning, people. Spoiler warning. We are getting into things. You can come back once you see the movie if you don't want to hear Xavier and our like discussions about this. So come back later. Spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. Okay. So I swear to God, if y'all don't quit trying to make Ned Leeds Genki Lee, I'm gonna bust somebody in the head, because
It's too
you're
late.
telling
He's
me
been him for 10 years, man.
but they don't give him a
It's
app
over.
to like the fucking like video game,
It's
bro. Like
over.
I'm so done, man. Like,
This is
It's
here's the
over. There
thing.
is no when we get to
I-
Miles, he will not have Genki.
I
can't
hate
now.
how much I love this movie because I know how much they take from like the Miles Morales comic books. Like that is one of the reasons why, to where like I was crying during the ending of this movie, and it was like, it's so good, it hits you in the feels, everything's just so wonderful. But at the exact same time, I'm like, you know, Miles's story's there though. You know, we could have had a Miles Morales. That would have been really
Mhm.
cool too. We've seen Peter's story multiple times. Like, I'm not complaining about this movie. Fantastic movie. But Miles, though, I need my live action.
I'm putting money on this now. I'm putting money on this now. What was it? He had a small role during Bendis's run, but then like Ahmed tried to give more emphasis to him. If Miles's best friend is Judge and not Genki, I'm gonna be throwing hands. Like genuinely, I even told Bendis this because I forgot to tell you. I met Bendis like 2 weeks ago, but like I even told Bendis I appreciated you putting that reference to Ned in your second run, and he was like, "Yeah, I did that on purpose because I was irritated." And I was like, "Yeah, this is some bullshit." Because genuinely, I like B-Rex, you probably like you haven't read it, but like there's this moment in Bendis' second Miles volume when Miles comes to the 616 and Genki is off trying to get information for Miles from
Yeah, he
from
needs to use that
what
fake name.
yeah, from Danica. Like you played the video game, so you know who Danica is because she's in the comics. And Danica goes, "What's your name?" And Genki goes, "Ned." And he goes, "You don't look
Ned.
like a Ned." It's freaking stupid. But like they gave him an app, and he like I love this idea, this concept that even though Strange wiped them, they still remember the Washington Monument, they still remember their vacation, they still remember some of it, and all of that still inspired Ned to be like obsessed with Spider-Man, and there was that lingering and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's clever. That's dope. And I enjoy that.
Yeah, I
But
like
like,
that
yeah.
they didn't go into like the specifics of it super
Mhm.
hardcore, but like I do like that they're trying to give us a picture of what exactly they do remember. Is like
Mhm.
it's like all those adventures still happened, but Peter was just like erased from them.
Yeah.
And so
But
they're like, "Oh
Spider-Man's
yeah,
still there.
Spider-Man's been in our lives like constantly for a couple
Mhm.
years. Like he was all over us for a little while. Don't know why,
Mhm.
because like,
Uh,
you know, every time he takes off his mask or they talk to Peter to get context for why things are happening, it's like that's just not there.
That's
Like
just not
he's
there. Yeah. That
yeah.
it's entertaining to me because like I don't think Flash was in the whole movie except for that one picture of him. But the idea they think Flash is
I don't
Spider-Man is hilarious to me.
I was laughing
Yeah.
so hard from
Well,
the
that
teacher
like is
and
like
Flash being there.
that's like a great meta reference to that fucking storyline that always gets used for everything where Flash wears a
Mhm.
Spider-Man costume and then gets kidnapped by a villain thinking he's the real
Mhm.
Spider-Man.
It's so
Because they
perfect.
use that for all of the cartoons. Every fucking one of them does like a send up of that.
Mhm.
And like the chat's over here talking about Genki still, and it's like the thing about it too is like I remember looking like watching the Key Collector out the past few weeks, and there was speculation of like Ned Leeds' first appearance in the comic books of him becoming Hobgoblin, and I'm like, what I'd give for them to pull the trigger on that. Yeah, MJ's cool with the truth being told to her, but when Ned hears the truth, he's pissed and he becomes a villain. And I'd have been like, bravo,
That was my
bravo.
theory. That was my theory.
I
I was going into
I
this
have
thinking at the end that like he was gonna like come out and tell him, and he like something like pupils dilate or something, and he's like, "What do you mean? I could have been best friends with Spider-Man for the past 4 years?" You know,
I
like I was ready for that.
I have thoughts. I'm
Mm.
maybe gonna totally crap all over that.
Do it, do it,
Um,
do it.
Ned Leeds was never the Hobgoblin. I mean, people think he was, but the real
Mhm.
Hobgoblin, I mean, that was just the result of that storyline turned into a mess behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Because like the writer who was working on it, who knew the answer, got kicked off the book before he could write the issue where they reveal who the Hobgoblin actually was, even though he had been
Right.
putting hints. And then they brought in someone else to finish the storyline, and then he just kind of was like, Ned, I guess, and like guessed wrong. Uh Ned Ned was a decoy, which also is not unprecedented because by the time that we had gotten to that reveal, Hobgoblin had done a crazy random costume swap with 3 other people so that they would take the heat. Like by that point, he put Flash Thompson in a fucking Hobgoblin costume and
Mhm.
like had him get arrested. Or he had this guy that he was testing out like the Goblin strength serum on, who he had him go do like a weapons test, and Spider-Man beat him. He like died in the fight because of an explosion, and so he keeps putting decoy like fake hobgoblins, and it got a little convoluted and silly. But in my mind, it's like Hobgoblin is kind of like Ghostface from the Scream franchise, where it's like it's you gotta. There's always going to be another twist. There's always going to be another fucking secret layer to the identity. But Ned Leeds was one of like 4 different patsies for Hobgoblin. But because they handled that reveal so badly of who it actually is, people still to this day think Ned was the Hobgoblin, and so they keep like putting that on him, even though the only time you see him in a Hobgoblin costume, he doesn't know what's going on, and then he gets shot and killed immediately.
And every other Hobgoblin has been a different dude since, which has always been hilarious to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, eventually they fucking settled on it and just brought back the real guy who it's supposed to be. But yeah, so I feel like it would, if they did make Jacob Batalon Ned Leeds into Hobgoblin, I would be really frustrated because the big nerd loser in me is like, no, it's not him. It's not Jason Philip McIndale either, and it's not Lefty Donovan, and it's not Flash Thompson.
It would
and
be
it's
so
not
irritating.
Phil Urich.
Man, it's so much nonsense built into that. Because of Daredevil being here now, like Ben Urich is dead, and that's the funny part about that.
Oh
it's
yeah,
just like so it's.
Oh, the other thing is, it was so weird that Daredevil wasn't in this movie.
Right, like everyone kept thinking that Daredevil was going to be in this movie. Like at least we know he's there.
Daredevil ends up in prison, and then this movie clearly has a huge sequence at a prison where Spider-Man is fighting the Hand. And it's like such an easy 2 and 2 together, and it's like nope, just
that still irritates me. The idea that Damage Control is like, oh yeah, the Hand just works with us now, and I'm like, the Hand would smack the shit out of you. That old lady which R.I.P.
No
she
way
just passed away.
do that. They're like a doomsday cult that wants to blow up the earth.
Right, like Madame Gal would have smacked the shit out of you, bro. Like the Hand wouldn't be doing this. This feels like an offshoot. This feels odd. Like this feels like Karai from the Ninja Turtles took a bunch of them motherfuckers somewhere else. Like this feels so bizarre, and I'm not a fan. And it was, I think that's one of my other critiques where it just felt weird.
I think it came down to they wanted something more interesting for Spider-Man to fight in the 3rd act than SWAT guys or security dudes at the prison. They're like, what's a cool thing? Like, what's a goon for him? Like, can we get some henchmen for him to fight that are fun? And it's like, New York has been infested with red-garbed ninjas for the last 10 years, according to the Netflix shows. If we're pulling Punisher in, we got to pull those in too. Punisher even has already smoked some hand ninjas before. He shot them on that rooftop in the season 2 finale of Daredevil. So like, I think they were just like, okay, if we're pulling from the Netflixy world, what's a cool, just like henchman that Spider-Man could fight a bunch of instead of one big villain? Because so we could have like a 1 versus many kung fu battle. Because Destin Daniel Creighton loves his martial arts fights.
Yeah, right. Like this was so well done too. Like
the fights in this are incredible. Like this movie dares to ask the bold question: what if an MCU Spider-Man movie had a good fight scene in it?
And it was amazing. It was amazing. I'm still thinking about the fight scenes to this day. It's been days after, and I'm like, did Spider-Man really just flipped around some bullets like that?
I think they showed too much in the trailers though, because I think every single cool thing that he does in the whole movie was in the trailers.
I love how everyone kept asking like, why is his mask off? Why is his mask off? And then we learn, and I'm like, if that ain't some like get out of jail free card nonsense you just did with that young woman, like that, you got real lucky with that shit, and I'm gonna let it go because I want to see what happens next. But like, and I will say, funniest shit of the whole movie was him gagging at the organic webs. But like, damn
you
it,
could see his mask stretch with his mouth like he's gagging.
But like, damn it, did those organic webs come in handy? Where he's just like, nah, I'm gonna throw you towards this spike, little ninja man, and then I'm gonna catch you, and that way I'm a bad bitch. And I'm like, yeah.
Now that was aura. That was like, okay, I could have killed you, and I didn't, and the only reason you're alive is because I'm fucking stellar at what I do. Like that was a great little moment. I'm glad that wasn't in the trailers, at least. I mean, God.
But like
But
so
that
much
big
of the
final
hand was
move
in the
where he
trailer.
webs up everybody, like spinning around, doing like
Like,
the
they couldn't
web
help
cluster from the
themselves.
PS4 game.
I
I'm like, that's like the climax of all of the action in the movie.
Right.
You shouldn't have showed that. We should have gotten to experience that as it was happening. But they showed that in like the first trailer.
Yeah, they did. And it's just like, why would you make that move? And it's just like, I think I was a little worried about the organic webs. I was worried they were gonna like overdo it or do something weird with it. I liked the references to Toby; those were kind of fun. I think the one thing that I'm a little sad about them doing it is this was the first movie since like the I think from since Homecoming that gave me fun ideas like web grenades and stuff like that. Like we're trying to do cool things now that he's on his own and has to rely on his own tech, and then they're just like fucking organic webs, and I'm like, come on, man. Like, let me have some like young on his own bullshit for a little bit. Like, I know Tom Holland said in an interview where he was like, "Oh, I don't know why everyone likes Peter being down on his luck," and it's like because it's better that way, where he actually thinks for himself.
Yeah, you're
and
more
has
of an
to
underdog
struggle.
if your life is shit, and you're
Yeah.
still the hero anyway.
And it's
I
just
mean, that's
like,
what's inspiring about it.
Yep, but that's what made the knowing of the 4 years so much fun because you got
yes,
to think about all of the fun like things that Spider-Man would have been doing during that time. The covert stuff of him hiding on walls and listening to secret conversations, him using like the little special like nano spider tracking thing to be able to follow people and all of that other stuff, or just following people being under a car because he's Spider-Man and he's going from truck to truck, like all of that fun stuff felt like not missing from the movie because I felt like I got that, but it was just kind of the stuff to where you could have extended it more. I could have, like you were saying, seeing the spider grenades, seeing him web up some people in different manners and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, that end scene, phenomenal. I loved it. The way that they did that
Yeah,
whole
no,
spider flip up and
it's
stuff
great.
like that, I loved it. But like, you know, I got to kind of already see that with Peter B. So I'm excited to see what, our Peter A is going to come up with,
I do think a problem I did have with Peter's whole situation is that they're like, okay, he's been Spider-Man full-time for 5 years. I think you still do need to explain his income a little bit because it's like he has like
right.
this super high-end 3D printer fabricator thing working on parts of his suit. And I'm like, I, I, I mean, did he steal it from a dumpster? Did he build it himself? Also, how is he affording an apartment in New York? He's got this whole
Right.
loft full of, gadgets for his like little crime apartment.
Like, where's
Um,
pizza time? Damn it! Like, make like
Yeah,
explain
like,
how where he's
what is
getting
he
this money
doing
from.
to pay for everything? And it's just
I
like
would
they
have
completely
accepted him
gloss over
selling
it.
photos to Jameson for the podcast in some kind of way.
Yeah,
Like he
right.
makes
I
a
mean,
couple few
that was
bucks here
an
and there.
easy pull. You already had that established as like selling pictures of Spider-Man to the fucking Bugle Report thing that Jameson does, his stupid InfoWars show. Like,
Yeah, which that was kind of sad when old dude said he wasn't going to be in the movie. I was like, damn, son, like that'd have been such an easy way to grab it in and make
yeah.
it worthwhile. And it was just like, why did
I
you
just
do that?
I've been really sad how like Jonah has never really been actually a character in any Spider-Man movies. He's more just there to be funny. Like I wish he had a little bit more of a personality. And I mean,
Right.
also if you're bringing in Scorpion, that was the perfect time because Scorpion's whole deal is that Jameson made him a villain because Jameson was going like Jonah was going way overboard with this whole I hate Spider-Man thing to the point that he's actively making supervillains to go catch him, like the Spider Slayer robot and then Scorpion.
Right.
And like that could have been the whole plot of the movie. But
Honestly,
this is a big point I did want to make is I think No Way Home is going to fuck us so bad in the long run because you have tapped out every one of his villains all at once. He can't have Doc Ock now. He can't have Green Goblin now. Can't have Sandman. Can't have, I mean, even fucking Venom was in that movie. You brought in all the headliners, all the big guys, and put them all together at once, which is cool. But now Tom doesn't get his own Green Goblin. He got Toby's Green Goblin.
Yeah, and like even when
doesn't
he
get his
gets
own
the black
Electro, he
suit
got
in
Andrew's
Secret
Electro.
War, yeah, like even when we get the black suit in Secret Wars, it's gonna be like, didn't Peter One mention this? Like, that's the one thing that I
If
feel
he
like
encounters an Otto Octavius who
he's
is
gonna be
not
like,
turned
wait
into
a
Doc Ock
minute.
yet, he's like, hey, stay away from mechanical arms. I know what's going to happen now. Like he's been given too much foresight,
He has
Mm.
premonitions
and then it's just gonna be
now.
weird because then
Mhm.
the characters are going to be comparing different adaptations of the villains in the movie if they brought those guys in. He'd be like, "You're different than the other Doc Ock I faced. Like you just
Mhm.
can't. We're just stuck. We can't do it now.
I'm
All of his
calling it
big
now.
villains you can't use."
I'm calling it now. Either the next Spider-Man movie or the third is going there. That's how they're going to bring in Aaron Taylor Johnson. It's going to be Tom versus Aaron. Craven's last hunt. I'm calling it now because what else are you going to do? You have Craven. You have Chameleon. Like yeah,
No one's fought
Tombstone's here.
Craven yet. We got Chameleon going. That's something. We could do
Yeah,
that.
you have
I mean,
a little
that
bit
Craven
left,
movie was
but
awful,
like
but
you ain't got a
it's
lot.
something.
You done wasted Sandman, like Doc got like you said. I think like
Vulture
they
has
have,
been banished to the Morbius dimension. What the
said
fuck
it's
are we gonna do?
Morbid
We
time,
don't
Michael
have
Keaton.
Vulture anymore. He's gone. He's been banished.
Bro, that's
He's
gotta
in
be
the
so
Sonyverse,
wild. That's
hanging
gotta
out
be
with
so
Jared Leto.
Bro, could you imagine, like, especially when Doctor Strange did that whole reset thing? Could you imagine how old girl feels like, where did my dad go? Like, that's gotta
Well,
be
I
a
also-
whole watch.
I was writing a joke in one of my videos speculating about this. I was like, do you think Matt Gargan was sharing a prison cell with Adrian Toomes, and then he saw him teleport away to the Morbius dimension, and it changed him for life seeing that? Here he watched this old man he's known for like 10 years just dissipate into dust, just
Man.
float away.
There goes all of my
There's a
past 10
light,
years
it's
of
just
life.
gone.
Bro.
Because we've been
Lo-
sellies since fucking 2017, and then we were through the blip, everything happened, and we're still here, still in this prison,
Mm.
because Scorpion still didn't show up, and then
like,
Vulture's just gone. This
like, I'm
guy
just
he
sitting
knew is
here
just
like-
gone.
Like, pour one out for Liz Allen. She has to live in a whole world where her dad is in another universe. Like, that's gotta be a whole thing.
My dad
no one's
ended up
talked
being a supervillain and then gets just dusted. Everybody else comes back from Thanos' snap, but where'd my
Not
dad
him.
go?
Man, and Chad even said, no, don't you dare give us actual Craven. Heck, give us Craven's dad from that movie. Wait, so you wasn't it? Who was it? Wasn't it fucking
Russell Crowe.
Yeah, wasn't it Russell Crowe? Do you want Russell
Yeah, do you
Crowe
want-
v Tom Holland?
Russell Crowe would
Oh,
be
God.
Russell Crowe 20 years ago is better casting for Craven than Aaron Taylor
Yes.
Johnson now. If we're
I'm
being
just
honest.
picturing Russell Crowe from Les Mis now, and that just isn't good.
Oh God, that would be hilarious. But no, like I want to talk about the Wolf because the Wolf was like a random grab that I didn't expect. I felt like, especially because
You know,
the director.
I'm gonna
You mentioned
also
a
throw
lot.
in some fanboy bitching about that. Is that
Oh,
one
go
of the
for it, go
main
for it.
important things about Jean DeWolf's character, like a big setup for her character in the Peter
Mm.
David run of like Spectacular Spider-Man or whatever, was that she was the youngest woman to ever be promoted to police captain, and I think they
Mhm.
cast a little bit too old for that because she's
Right.
supposed to be like 30 at the most. Because there's supposed to be like sort of like a will they won't they kind of tension between her and Spider-Man.
Oh.
Where it was even implied that she had like had feelings for him after a while.
That was
Like
given
she
like
thought
auntie
she acted like
vibes.
he was a jackass. Like she talked to him
Yeah.
like he was a dick, but then she was like secretly like, I kind of wish I knew what he looked like. Like I kind of
Mhm.
wish that we could we could develop this in something.
Mhm.
And so I think in order to turn her into a more typical cop character, they kind of threw that out.
Yeah, they very much
but
went
it-
auntie vibes with it in the best way. Like it's almost like
Yeah.
a surrogate Aunt May, but like not.
Yeah,
Where it's like
yeah, you
she
know?
cares and is checking. Like take some time off. Like worry about that headache, bro. Like I loved the moment where he had like a pseudo black suit moment with the mutation, and she's like, you do this again, I can't back you up, dog. Like it's gonna be a problem. And I'm like, damn. I loved the turn when he snapped out of it, and he's like, bro, is she okay? Like that's how
Is
she
she
can tell
okay?
the
Yeah,
human.
like
Yeah,
that was great.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I love
But
that so much.
I would have cast a lot younger for that role if I were gonna do like a more comic-y Jean DeWolf. But I mean, this is also her first like major adaptation in anything. Like she's
Oh, you know,
a
yeah,
glorified Easter egg in the Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon, and like
right.
she's in the Spider-Man 3 movie game a little bit.
Yeah. And like she's in Marvel Superheroes Online. And that's like it. But like I'm surprised, especially because of how much Destin had talked about he referenced the video game. I'm surprised he didn't go for the low-hanging fruit and grab Yuri. I'm a little impressed he didn't do it. because like now that's kind of out the window, and I'm kind of like, all right, cool, whatever. But there's another Asian character that was in this movie for such a small moment, and I want to know how annoyed Xavier is. Xavier, how do you feel about your old flame Cindy Moon being in this movie?
She was
in the
Where? When?
banner
What?
in the banner scene in the classroom.
Oh fuck, that's right.
Yeah,
Oh, God, I think I
he
that was
blacked
so
out.
quick. I just it just didn't register. I was like, I mean, I don't mind Cindy. I mean, my wife loves Cindy Moon. That's
But
like one of the few
early
comic
dance lot Cindy Moon is like
No, I mean the
problematic
early
as
stuff is like
shit.
weird and gross, but like I
Yeah.
think Cindy, if you just ignore all that, because I mean they didn't even keep Miles' origin from the comics because his origin is
Right.
stupid and convoluted. You know, when you
Yeah.
do adaptations of because like he's from a different universe that had another Peter Parker for 150 issues and then died. Like you can't do that in an adaptation. So if they just streamline her the way they streamline Miles for adaptations, where they just skip all the bullshit and just put her in there and have her be how she
weird
is.
destined to be together fucking shit. Like let's
Yeah,
just skip
all the
over that.
my hormones make me need to bang you on the ceiling, sloppy style, like wearing our masks and everything.
Oh,
like,
B doesn't know about Cindy Moon. Oh, this is gonna be a whole door opening for
You
him.
unlocked a memory because I remember doing research about that at the very beginning, and then like I just was like, all right, this is information about her character. I feel like I don't need to know. I feel like
really
that's
don't.
something
No,
that's
and,
like,
like-
you know what? That's bedroom talk between people that I don't need to know about. Okay, like if that's
my
if that's
wife
your
has
thing,
read more Cindy
cool.
Moon than I have, but I think I was talking to her and she's like, yeah, they kind of moved on past that and
Oh, yeah.
and have made her
Thank God, thank God.
Yeah.
a better character. Because you know, that's the other thing is I think Cindy Moon is cool for having like an Asian American spider person. Because you know what, my wife is an immigrant from the Philippines, and so she's like, you know, she came here and I was trying to get her into comic book stuff since she was never really into that too much growing up. And so I was like, hey, how about Silk? And I got her an issue of that, and she was like, I really like this. And so she got like the next 10 volumes after that, and that's her girl, you know.
Right.
She's read all the Silk stuff. So I think even though I hate where the character came from, because I think that initial story was such a disaster, I think that character deserves a place.
Oh,
And
for
I don't
sure.
mind her sticking around, and I want her to
Especially
stay
like
around,
if in the case of Destin, I feel like if anyone could handle telling Cindy's story in a good way after seeing this movie, I'm like, you know what?
yeah, no, he can
I'm
handle that
down.
without making
It's-
it a weird
Right.
fetish thing like
Yeah.
Stan Slott did.
Yeah, that was, oh my God. But I will say, man, let's talk about Gene, because Gene, man,
Well, that's the
oh
other thing is
Lord.
we're so tapped for Spider-Man villains that it's like, I think they just were. I'm sure that because I remember there was a little while they were talking where they were arguing about what kind of movie this should be, and Sony was like, "Oh, we want this to be a multiverse thing," and Marvel Studios was like, "We want this to be another street level thing." I think part of the big reason that there was such a big argument over it is because they had no idea who to make the villain, because like what ground is there left to cover? Because even if you did someone who hasn't necessarily showed up in the movies, if you did Mr. Negative, he was just a huge part of the Insomniac games, and those are huge selling games. It would just kind of feel a little
It feels
repetitive.
like a rehash, yeah.
Yeah, and people would just be comparing it to him in the game. So I think Mr. Negative was probably like discussed based on the way Jean acts and the way her powers work.
Right.
Like that had to have come up. But I think Marvel and Sony are like racking their brains now. Like, who the fuck do we make the villain in Spider-Man movies from now on? Because we've written ourselves into such a corner with that. And I mean, I don't know. I wasn't expecting Jean to be the whole thing. I thought she would have like a
Right.
part in it. And I was thinking like, oh, Tombstone's going to be the bad guy. Maybe
Exactly.
Tombstone's controlling her.
That
I
would
was
have
thinking
been
maybe
that would have been
Tombstone
such a
is
great
using
plot.
Jean as a weapon, right? Tombstone
Yes.
wants. There's a power vacuum now that Mayor Fisk is gone. There's all these different gangs coming into New York, like the Hand. Maybe the Hand are trying to settle an old score by breaking into the prison to kill Matt Murdock.
Mhm.
And Tombstone is using this vulnerable but very powerful mutant girl that he found as a way to manipulate people so that he can get a leg up on the crime stuff in a way that like Fisk never could. Because he's like, Fisk got taken down by superpowered people. I think I should be using them as a resource. That was the movie I
Mhm.
had in my head based on the marketing. And I was so disappointed that Tombstone is in the movie for 2 seconds. Like
Right,
literally
like you
2
got one of the
seconds.
you literally got one of the most like the best actors you could have gotten. You got one of the most like goated people in Marvin Jones the Third to
You
pull up.
found
Like
he looks like him in real life. Like that's him. You found
not only that, he
a-
was literally like freaking
But-
in Black Lightning as one of the most dastardly motherfuckers you could
I
ever
immediately-
and he's
have.
already played
Dude.
a character like that.
He is
Yes.
so iconic in Black Lightning. That is
Like,
he is
Tobias
like one of
Whale
the
is
biggest
so
people.
iconic.
Tombstone. He's Tombstone in Spider-Verse.
Yeah, he's Tombstone in
Yep.
Spider-Verse too. So it's like
Yep.
you had the ultimate way to do this. And like, don't get me wrong, was like you pulling into your bag and pulling out Bill Metzger kind of cool from like a deep X-Men lore cut kind of cool? Sure. But like we're not gonna see Metzger again, if at all, probably. Like they said, oh, Metzger's on the run. And I'm like, is anyone really gonna care about Metzger? Like, let's really talk about like not only did you race change him, but I know a single person that's like really diehard that's like, I want to be a Bill Metzger fan. Like, no one's gonna care in like 5 minutes. Like,
Yeah,
that could have
like
been
that. And I mean,
anybody
he's not
else.
even really the villain until like the third act. Like the
Yeah.
antagonist is still Jean, basically.
Yeah. And like
Even if
I'm
she's not
surprised like Gene
necessarily
didn't kill
a
that
bad
man.
person. She's the
I
antagonist
do have to
force of the
say,
story.
Sadie Sink's like characterization of Jean really got me moved on to her. I will give her that. Like there were certain times
I
when
mean-
she was acting it up that like I
Mhm.
could see
She's
Jean
great.
through the character, which was great. But it disappoints me because I love her character so much that there needs to be a like breaking point for her. And I feel like in the story, her figuring out her sister's dead was a really good breaking point. But I feel like you got to really hit the gut with that one. And we didn't really get that until Aunt May's speech is when it toned her down. And that's the
Mhm.
part that really disappoints me because this is supposed to be someone who's truly broken, someone who's like been through
give it
worse stuff
time.
than what Spider-Man's been through right now, you know?
Wait till
And
Sinister
so-
gets to her. She'll be fine. She'll be fine. But I think
I could say when I was looking at her, I was like, I really want to see her do a bunch of X-Men storylines. Like I want to see, I mean, God forbid, fucking a third Dark Phoenix adaptation. But
see,
like,
and I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that because I will say this. The one thing that I was very appreciative of was it could have easily been so easy to be like, Jean is always just gonna be this like mental hopper for the rest of her life. But I love that we expanded on her powers. A, without Charles, because we're tired of Charles being the thing that blocks off her damn mind. But B, we didn't see no fire, no birds, no nonsense, no caca,
yeah, they
no nothing.
had
It
to
is
figure out how
just
to
her.
make telekinesis look cool. you know?
Yes. And I
Like,
love
I
they
admit
did
it, they
that.
did.
It shows that
Mirror
she's
effect.
powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that
And-
or the light spectrum bending when she
Yeah.
gets people. It kind of looked like the effect for Invisible Woman's force fields and first
yeah.
Step.
Yeah.
I
That was
love
a cool
that.
look. I was glad that they built up to her proper like telekinesis powers and making her like a big threat for the third act.
Mhm.
I definitely want to see her be Jean and stuff. And
Mhm.
my sister is named after the Phoenix, right? In Marvel, I'm
Yeah.
named after Professor X. So obviously I'm
Nice.
very partial to X-Men stuff. So when I see that in a Spider-Man movie, I'm like, okay, that's cool. But
Mhm.
to a degree, I have to wonder, like, did they land on this as the best possible thing to tell this Peter Parker story? Or
Right.
was this something mandated from on high, from above? Like, hey, we got to start setting up our new X-Men cast because that's our next thing.
Mhm.
That's our next project for the MCU is setting up our X-Men.
Right.
So you got to
Well-
figure out how to make an X-Men character the biggest thing in this movie.
Yeah,
And-
and like I think that's the thing I'm worried about is that like they hinted at her going to Westchester. I thought that was kind of cute. But
yeah,
I'm
she's
also
going
like,
northern New York.
yeah, but I'm also like, you have another movie coming out in less than 6 months with a bunch of X-Men in it. how like
Well-
obviously they're going to all new, all different Marvel this after Secret Wars and just be like, all right, this is canon, you're over here, yada yada. But I'm like, is anyone going to remember Secret Wars? Because if they don't, or if they do, rather,
I
everyone's
think
gonna
that's
be
why Famke Jensen's Jean Grey is not in that story.
Ooh.
I think they want to keep her, either she died off screen or she's dead from this or she's not around, so that it's not doing too
Harm
much
to
with we have
Sadie.
two Jean Greys. Because then we won't have two Jean Greys in 1 year. But I mean,
So
the
does
whole
that
reason
mean
that the X-Men,
Jean's never gonna have Scott? Is that what we're saying?
I don't know. I mean, the whole reason that we're doing and I think this is supposed to be like a farewell tour for the X-Men, the 2000s X-Men. But I think the whole reason that they're here and they're getting kind of preferential treatment over like the later X-Men cast with like McAvoy and, Sophie Turner, is because Kevin Feige produced that first X-Men movie. That was like his big thing, his first comic book thing. And I mean, he was the guy who's smuggling comic books onto the set to hand out to the cast because the director was an asshole who didn't want anyone reading comic books.
Yeah.
So I think he has a big personal attachment and like
An affinity to it.
nostalgia. Yeah, for that cast in particular. I think in a way he might look at that X-Men and think of it as, this is my X-Men from back in the day. Before the MCU, before I moved on to all these other things, I did this X-Men with Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, James Marsden. I think he's going to have like such strong feelings towards that version of them that's why he's bringing them in. Like he didn't bring in Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique. He brought in his Mystique, Rebecca Romijn, from his movie.
Yeah.
I think that's what's going on, is just like him trying to do this big like tribute / putting it all to rest of the X-Men. Because I mean, every time they've tried to do like an ending for that X-Men, he wasn't involved,
Yeah.
I think this is him trying to be like, I can do an ending for my X-Men that I worked on in a way that I'm happy with before I do another one.
Yeah, because like Deadpool and Wolverine obviously had Disney bet my money to a certain extent, but like, and like it had the little farewell thing in the credits, but like Feige didn't have a hand in that. So this is him saying, "This is my farewell, bitch." To make a relevance. Like this is like how Brock Lesnar tried to peace out at WrestleMania, but then WWE was like, "No, do it again." Do it again, bitch. And then he just did it again for SummerSlam. So it's like, it's that kind of reference. But it's like, I'm okay with this, but I'm also like, are we going to have another situation where Havoc comes first? Is that what we're doing now? Because like, that's my fear, is that we're not going to have a full good set.
The Fox
because we're
X-Men
doing
got
this.
so many things wrong for so long. It would be really nice to, swing the other way with a lot of these things.
It would be
That's
nice.
what I was gonna say though, is it feels like it's almost Feige's way of being like, here's the things I would have corrected during that time. Because, he didn't have that full say on those first 3 movies. So by this point, he's like, I now get say, I can now make like, not the movies that I wanted back then, but I can at least correct some things that I feel like would have gone better. Because like, as an example, the Deadpool and Wolverine movie, we finally got him in the yellow suit, even though that's something we were yammering for since before I even started reading Wolverine.
I mean,
comics,
if Feige had the power back then to make him wear that, he would have, but he didn't. But now he does,
Yeah.
So
we'll
I'm
definitely
sure
see what happens with that.
Yeah, there's a lot of course correcting going on with that. But I think he's the whole Doomsday X-Men thing is just he's trying to lay them to rest in a way that he's happy with before we get to our next X-Men. But yeah, I think Sadie being the new Jean Grey, I'm happy with that casting. I think she's done a great job with it so far. Weirdly, this whole thing reminded me a lot of that fucking Iron Man Adventures, Iron Man Armored Adventures episode, because there's an episode of that cartoon where Tony has this redheaded girl at his school who is being hunted by Magneto, and he doesn't know why, and he starts to learn over time that she has powers. And at the end of the episode, she says what her real name was. She gave a fake name. I think she said her name was Annie Claremont. But at the end of the episode, she says, my real name is Jean Grey. And it's like, oh, okay, you're going to go do that now. It was like, I feel like that might have been one of the inspirations for them doing their backdoor pilot for her and her X-Men in Spider-Man.
Yeah, so we'll
But I
definitely
mean,
have to see.
also, it's a great way to generate buzz for that cast.
Oh, for
'cause this
sure.
movie's doing so much money now. It's like now people are going to
Yeah.
want to go see what's going on with her.
Yeah,
So like
it
you've already
definitely
kind of caught people's interest for your new X-Men.
for sure. Because like I think what I loved about that was the idea that I don't think Peter and Jean Grey have shared a moment on like any comic panel together since Civil War II, and that was Time Displays Jean. Like
Yeah,
them two have
those
never
two
had
characters have never had anything to say to each other.
So like
but
this is
now
definitely a
permanently
reach.
because of this movie, they're gonna have to always kind of wink and nod at each other now, like they're
Right.
friends.
It-
We're gonna have
and
to
it's-
retcon them knowing each other.
Yeah, and it's giving like Miss Marvel vibes, and somebody in the chat mentioned like, "Hey, where's Miss Marvel and all this?" And I'm like, you know what? That'd be something I would like to know. I would be like, you know what? Like, I know that she's busy writing a comic book for Image right now, but I'm over here wondering where's the Marvelani? Like you could that would have been such an easy grab just to pull her in and have her, but like pal around with Peter. Hell, like Peter. Amon Vellani and Frank Castle in a room together would be the funniest shit in the whole damn franchise. I would
Well,
be
yeah, 'cause, like,
rolling.
That the Punisher would just be like, "Oh, these fucking goddamn kids!" Like they're
Yup,
just
it
sitting
would
here
be
nerding out about
funny.
shit.
Talking
It
about
kills me
nerd
too,
shit.
especially because she's the one where they're like introducing the X gene when it comes down to the whole MCU. So it almost feels like she should kind of be there for this movie for that introduction. I don't like the
Right.
whole aspect about how they're trying
What I mean,
doing that switch up there and everything, but it's still like if you
There's-
guys are gonna stick with it with the MCU.
it's
Right.
the way that they did that. They introduced that whole concept is messy because I feel
Yeah.
like they maybe regretted it instantly because it was not received well. So I feel like maybe they're gonna ease up and not say that Miss Marvel's a mutant anymore, and just be like, okay,
And well, and
she's off. You know, maybe we'll just like kind of pretend we didn't say that, and like
it's
just be
it's
vague
so
about it from now
complex,
on.
bro. It's such a like, and it's led to so many problems in the comic books because they even like had Amon Vellani co-write it where they were like, "Oh no, now she's not an Inhuman. She's somehow died and been reborn on Krakoa, and now she's a mutant." And then we interwove her into the timeline where she was always part of the X-Men, and I'm like, what are we doing? And it's just like we've done so much damage to this character where she was fun, she was unique, she stood out. Like, yeah, y'all don't really fuck with Inhumans no more. But you could have just said she was enhanced. You could have said she was never an Inhuman. That was a gimmick or some shit. You could have wrote it to someone else. But now she's intrinsically tied to the X-Men, or now she's been in like X-Men team books. And now I'm like,
well, yeah, now she's not a solo operator anymore. Now she's gonna get just shoved as she's gonna end up being one of like 1,000 characters who get put on an X-Men team for one run, and then you don't see them ever again because they're not fucking Wolverine.
yeah, and that's why I'm really worried about her in future projects because it's like now, unless there's a movie, you ain't never gonna see that poor girl ever again. And I'm like, what have we done here?
Exactly.
So,
I saw you pointing to the Moonstar.
yeah, and it's like, yeah, well, and yeah, Moonstar got a book. I'm like, damn, Danny got a book. That's crazy. And it's just like, we'll see what happens. But it's just like that definitely worries me. And I'm like, I will say one of my favorite moments of the whole damn movie is freaking Yelena being in this movie and just like just having so much fun. I'm like, damn it, girl, you're always so
I was
charismatic.
expecting a naked Black Widow hot tub scene in the Spider-Man movie. But
I just have to say, I love that he kept the mask on. I
Yes.
love that he kept the mask on for
That
the
was so perfect.
that was excellent. And then him being in that scene, I swear they filmed it like 30 different times with like 20 different masks to make sure they could CGI it perfectly because his mask looked phenomenal. It's that like when you see it in the comics of him having like the mask on for some random reason because of his secret identity, it felt like that. It just felt so out of pocket, out of place that it felt perfectly placed in the movie.
It was so well done, and like I love her like taking little jabs at him, be like, "I can see your belly button." Like she's trying to like get him out of his shell because he's been on his own for the past like 5 years and he hasn't had any friends. And then when he calls her later and she's still at her office, which is hilarious, and he's like, "Oh, the lonely boy got friends." I'm like, she understands.
She calls him the sad man.
The sad
I love that.
Yep. She
It
does
was
so good with her character too. From Black Widow
Mm.
to this, like I have fallen in love with her character, and I'm like, where's her one
Oh,
shots?
yeah. I mean,
Where's
it's
her
because
like
she's
series that we
like,
need to be getting
you
of her?
say that, B, but they tried. They released a White Widow like mini series right when well, like what was it, right after Black Widow came out or right after like freaking Thunderbolts came out, and nobody bought it because Marvel didn't promote it. They didn't do anything to put it like outside of normal Marvel spaces.
Well, that's
And
shocking.
and it's like because it was a straight up just like a White Widow comic book. It looked so well done. It was trying to put Yelena because it was advertised as Yelena Belova Returns. Like they did a whole thing with it. They were trying to make it the new hot thing, and like I was down for it. It was well written. It was a good vibe. And it was a whole way to try to reintroduce her
Who
into the
wrote that
Marvel
one?
universe. And it was just like you had Sarah Gailey writing it. It was well done. It came out a while back. It was a 4-issue mini, and like they didn't promote it. It was 3 years ago, so it's like they had the ability to to make her be more of an attraction in the comic books, and they just didn't. And it was just like, why? And she's so successful for them, and they don't do anything with her now, and it's like, why? So that's
How did they
my
just leave
concern
money
with
on the
that.
table? Because like promotion's at least a good like half of the game when it comes down to getting your stuff out there. There's a reason why like Spider-Man's so big, and it's because you promote the shit out of Spider-Man. I see Spider-Man stuff 24/7, which don't get me wrong, I love me my Spidey, but like, you know, if you guys put this much effort into promoting maybe like Kang a little bit better, like I'm pretty sure things would have turned out a little bit differently in some scenarios.
Well, other than that whole, he might have beat his girlfriend, but
Yeah, yeah. Besides
we
for
won't talk
that
about that.
scenario,
Well, yeah, we
yep.
don't talk about that. But like in general, it's just like they've tried to do things, but then
Hey, do you
they
think
don't do more with it. Like she even had a
do
Peach
do you
Momoko cover for issue 2, and it's like, you know how feral people would have went for a Peach Momoko cover if you would have promoted that shit.
I'm going feral over here already. What?
Hey, do you guys
I
think
can't
that
believe I
action
missed
figures
this.
with Jonathan Majors likeness will be worth anything in 20 years?
Maybe.
Hidden.
Yeah.
It'll be that like speculative market, or one person's gonna be like, I need like 20 of these on my wall because he was Kang this
Like,
one
do you
time.
think like having a Jonathan Majors Kang and He Who Remains action figure, well, you think that'll be worth something in like a decade or two?
You might be
Because
able to pawn it off on Ben Shapiro at some point. Bro, he's doing like another action movie for The Wire, and I'm just like, this is.
I'm just wondering if that is in the same vein as like when something's controversial, it suddenly becomes like more valuable. Like
Sometimes, yeah, like that X-Men Gold from a few years ago was still like worth like $50.
Any Marvel comic or DC comic where you can see a superhero's uncensored penis, like that Batman book where his dick is out.
Oh, hey, B, do you want to read a comic book where you see Batman's junk?
I mean, I don't want to, but now you've like spiked my interest. So
there's also Spider-Man Reign has Spider-Man's dick in issue 1. So.
Yes, so like you don't know about this. So like there was an incident right when they canceled Vertigo for the first time. And they redid Vertigo, kind of like how like Marvel has Red Band now. They tried to create DC Black Label. That's a thing that still goes on now, is DC Black Label. They're meant to be like adult miniseries and stuff like that. They created a new Batman series that was supposed to be all cutting edge and adult and shit like that. But
like a Marvel Max thing.
Basically, yeah. And it was like the only thing that was adult about it was that it was going to have Batman's dick featured in the first issue. And it was called Batman Damned. And it caused so much of a hubbub that they made Jim Lee go out on Jimmy Kimmel as almost like a humiliation ritual and talk about Batman Damned. And it was the craziest
they pulled the book like within a day too. Like
yes.
it was not up for long before they started taking it off shelves. Like, no, we're gonna put out a new version where that's covered in shadow.
Yeah. Like it was a whole thing. Like it was a whole.
I hope
incident.
you don't scroll down too far and get this video demonetized.
Oh, no! It's like it's a DC page. They didn't have it on there, but it's like it was written by Brian Azzarello. It was a whole thing supposed to be cutting edge and like adult, and they straight up made Jim Lee go on Jimmy Kimmel as almost like a humiliation ritual, and it was insane.
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna get my hands on this one and have to read it at some point.
Oh, it's on DC Infinite. You can go read. It's
Oh,
probably
even
edited,
better.
but like it's probably edited. But like, there's a shot where like he comes out of like the Batcave like water, and like he's all naked, and like you like the shadow, like you obviously see Dong, and like they edited it out in like the trade and the digital release. And so like if you can find Batman Damn #1, it's like a magazine edition. Like you can see Batman's Dong. And it's a whole thing.
I think enough people probably reposted it if you just looked up Batman.
Oh, you know, you can probably find it.
Batman's
I won't put it here, but like it's a whole thing that you can find pretty easily.
Hey, listen,
But,
I've been
like-
on the internet long enough. I'm gonna find way more than just that.
You know,
Oh yeah, no, that's the thing. Is like you're like, where's the official one though? Where's the DC sponsored?
I need the DC
certified
sponsored official length and girth and all of that.
I need to know his real.
Here, hold on.
His
Here.
real length and girth.
Here,
Not
B,
the
let
fan
me-
art. You know?
Like freaking Tashi's probably gonna be like, what the fuck? But B, I just put it like a cutout of it in the group chat. Like it's so blatant. Like y'all went.
I love that with it. It has negative, affirmative bullshit. Just that lined up with it.
It's
Absolutely brilliant.
like
Oh.
and granted, Brian Azzarello is already a very controversial like writer to begin with. Like
Did he do
B-Rex,
that?
have you-
Cage Max line?
I was about to bring that.
I've been
B-Rex,
seeing them on my shelf. I have not touched them yet because you
have you
scarred
ever
me
heard,
from the last Max.
Oh no, we always said we did talk about this. Yeah, if you ever go look, like this is mostly for chat. Like I don't think we talked about it on the show, but like if you ever look up Cage by Brian Azzarello, it was part of the Marvel Max line. It is the most offensively bad black comic book
Oh.
ever in the history of black comics. Like they had strippers looking like black Sambo women out in the club, and
Because
like it
Richard
was so
Corbin
bad.
they had Richard Corbin as the artist, and I'm not gonna say he's a bad artist because he's good at drawing like weird monsters and horror comics, but when he has to draw regular people, they look so fucked up. Because he also drew like a Hulk comic.
Yeah,
I remember once, and the Hulk and Bruce Banner looked so scary in that book. Before he even turned into the Hulk, he looked freaky. And it's just
Yeah.
like he can't draw like regular, normal human beings without
very
them
odd.
looking terrifying. I don't think that the art in that book was intended to be offensive. I think that it was
Yeah.
just a really bad match with that script because like it added, the script is awful, right? And it
Yeah.
made that so much worse because you put that artist on there and all the characters look so, yeah, it looks bad. It looks bad.
It's very odd. So thoughts on Banner? I thought it was inoffensive, but I'm glad that Rage Hulk is back.
Oh
that
yeah.
was the thing that I know, like, as the fan base, everybody was clamoring for getting like Rage Hulk back. And I think the way that
I mean,
they
well, because they haven't done anything interesting with Smart Hulk. He's
Yep.
Yeah, but the
Very
most he did was
bland.
with She-Hulk, and that was cool, like helping her train and whatnot. But like, because like She-Hulk was the
I
most
could live with
comic
that.
accurate
I like
TV show we've
She-Hulk,
had.
by the way.
Oh, I know it was comic accurate as shit, but all the weird like sexist dudes will be like, "Oh, it was a bad show." It's like, bro, Dan Slott straight up said this was like the most comic accurate thing, and he wrote She-Hulk. So like, why are you mad about this?
I still remember the ending of She-Hulk when I was watching it. I still thought my like Disney Plus broke on me. Like that is how good they did that. I sat there for a moment. I was like, hold up, wait a sec. I'm grabbing my remote real quickly, and then she just comes busting out of the screen, and I'm like, hold up, they're doing this now? And like,
Oh, you know, it
I
was
loved
fun.
that. The TV show got me onto Stephanie Phillips's She-Hulk and everything. I'm now like a She-Hulk, like I'm not gonna say stan at this point because I'm still new, but like I'm getting up there in that.
It made
fan
you
base. I'm
invested,
like, I
which is what a
need her.
TV show is supposed to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
So it's
they
just
did it-
like
it
I'm
was
wondering
funny.
where she is right now because like her cousin's back in jail.
Yeah, I'm like, every time they
Mhm.
talk about Doomsday or Secret Wars, I'm like, and then She-Hulk,
Right,
and
but
then
like
Tatiana
yeah.
Maslany is there doing.
Yeah,
And
like
then
it
Jennifer
blows
Walters
my mind.
says, and then it's nothing, never,
Especially when like Thor, that even goes back to what we were talking about with the Blade and the Monica Rambeau and all that shit. I'm sitting here like Thor is in the trailer for Doomsday saying that he doesn't have a squad that's strong enough for any of these motherfuckers.
Yeah, he's got all these
But-
fucking new Avengers doofuses that are all just Captain
Yeah,
America
bro, like
clones.
white people
I'm
with
like, you
guns,
have
and
a
I'm like,
Hulk.
Right,
You have two of them.
You got two Hulks.
You have two Hulks. You have two Captain Marvels. You have all these people that can whoop Doom's ass, and it's like, no.
I would just like to point out they got 3 Hulks actually after that She-Hulk movie. They threw in his son in
Yeah.
that too, so
Oh,
we
yeah, they
got
got
3 Hulks
Scar.
going
Well,
on.
We have 4 because we could get the racist president involved.
Yeah, we have 4. We have 4 Hulks. We have 2 Captain Marvels. Like, there's all these people that we have. Like, that they could bring back Wanda if they hadn't treated freaking her poorly. It's like you have all these actors that you've burned by treating them poorly or not doing enough with them. And like even Tiana
I
Paris
would
was at
love to
San
see Harrison
Diego.
Ford do a fucking sequel as the Red Hulk. Like, there's
Ugh.
no way. That's
Oh yeah,
he's
he's
never coming back.
deteriorating. There's no way. But it's like,
Well, no,
like
but
even
also he just doesn't care. Like,
Oh, yeah, he doesn't
I'm
give a shit.
surprised he did the movie to begin with. He doesn't give a shit.
right,
about
like
that
he was
stuff.
already so old, and it's like even at like the premiere, he looked a little like he didn't care anymore and didn't want to be there, or his mind
Like,
wasn't
I mean, he
there.
doesn't care about nerd shit like this for like 40 years. Like,
Oh yeah,
the-
no. So
he
it just it
checked
bothers
out
me.
around like Star Wars 2.
Yeah, it's very odd what they did with that. I didn't fully understand it, but it's like you have all these different characters. Like Tiana Paris was at San Diego Comic Con being like someone asked her, "Are you excited to fight Dr. Doom?" And she's like,
Who? What?
yeah, it's like sure, and it's like she basically is telling you that she's about to be sidelined. And there was a leak that came out from an insider where he basically said that yeah, she's gonna be sick in the X-Men universe during the movie. We're not gonna see her much, and I'm like,
Is
you
it going to be
literally
like
have
that? You're in the wrong universe sickness from the Spider-Verse movies, or they're going to bring
basically,
that
yeah.
in?
Yeah, and it's gonna be stupid. And I'm sitting here like, you have one of the strongest characters in the Marvel universe, Monica Rambeau, and you said, nah, I'm good, G. Like,
Well,
it
then
makes me
that
so
starts to
That
paint a
makes me
picture again. That's starting to paint a picture.
disappointed because they got me so hyped off of that off WandaVision. Like the way that they gave her powers, the way that they like shot her into another universe and they were like, oh, the X-Men are here. Like they had me so hyped for that and thinking that like I'm going to see Monica Rambeau teaming up with the X-Men, doing some stuff in like Doom's universe maybe, or in a separate universe, and like all of that fun jazz. And then just to get this disappointing news of like, oh, we're just going to sideline a character that we introduced that's Captain Marvel's level of power. And it's like,
she literally was Captain Marvel. That's the crazy part. She was the first female Captain Marvel, and it was just like, oh my god. But back to Banner.
Yeah,
I think Banner was fun. But I feel like if we don't see Banner in Doomsday, people are going to be asking questions. I think it was like you said before, Xavier. It was cool to see.
Can we just give Banner like Ruffalo Hulk his own movie finally? Like, have we
Please,
resolved all the stuff that's wrong with
Well,
that?
that's funny because Destin, like Destin said, or like it was the Ruffalo or Destin said at the premiere that like they've been pitching a Banner movie, and I'm like,
well, he also Ruffalo went on like a talk show and he was doing a bit where he said, I have a punch card, and he holds up a punch card and he says, if I get 10 appearances in other Marvel movies, they'll give me my own solo movie. And he held that up and said, I'm at 10 now. And it's
come
like,
on,
oh,
guys,
well,
can I get his movie now?
If he's doing that joke, is it like, are you gonna go cash that in? Huh? Is that why you're saying that? Like, is that
like I'm just like,
can we look
how
forward
long?
to that?
Like
I want to know if I can look forward to that.
Right, and like we see how gray Ruffalo is getting now.
Yeah.
At what point are we going to be like, maybe we need to do a Mortal Hulk and say Banner dies and bring back a new Banner before we get like a good like Hulk movie? Like we've been using Hulk as this like fun
no
thing in all
way
these movies.
The MCU
and
would
I'm
ever
just,
adapt Immortal Hulk as a storyline. They
I
would
could
never touch
dream.
that material because that book
I
is
could
so
dream.
anti-corporate and so like talks a lot about climate change and is like so political. And Disney is not going to touch that with a 2,000-foot pole. They don't want to touch that at all.
Reed Richards can't even touch that shit. It's out here, and it's just like I wish I could dream, but it makes me sad. And it's like it would be dope to see that finally be a thing. But overall, I think Banner was a cool grab. But like Xavier said, that could have just been Connors. They could have just been Frank.
If you had the lizard for that same scene, it wouldn't have changed the movie.
Right. I will say though, I'm kind of side eyeing the whole Peter invented inhibitors, and I'm like, didn't Wanda have an inhibitor? The fuck? Didn't they like during Civil War they put an inhibitor on Wanda?
That's right. They did. They had the little like bracelet thing on her, didn't they?
well, yeah, they had a whole collar on her when they put her in a straitjacket and then put her collar on her, and I'm like, what happened to
Maybe
that?
that only worked on her powers. Maybe Peter accidentally invented
A universal,
inhibitors, and that will
and
be
that's
like,
gonna work
oh,
for
that's
mutants
the
now. Ooh,
then
okay.
like damage control is going to turn into like the fucking anti-mutant task force.
Oh,
and
God.
That's how they work that in. And they're like, hey, Spider-Man didn't know what he accidentally gave us, but we can start slapping this on mutants and then put them in the prisons. That'll set up your like first X-Men storyline. So I think maybe
storyline wise, I love that idea that Spider-Man ended up being the Foley for that one, because it's almost Spider, like when we see it in the future now, it's almost going to be Peter trying to like correct his actions for not thinking far enough
if
ahead.
you've given Peter Parker something to be monumentally guilty about, you've got yourself a recipe for good Spider-Man stories.
Yeah, so we'll have to see how that plays out. Now, before we give our ratings, let us talk about that end credit scene. And someone even brought it up in the chat.
So
black suit, teleport, incursion, Secret Wars.
I'm thinking Secret Wars, like he got pulled in and plopped down on Doom's stupid battle
world.
Yeah, because they're doing Hickman Secret Wars, right? Where Doom makes his own battle world out of whatever. So probably Spider-Man gets scooped up into that because he just wants to play with superheroes like action figures on his planet. Is what I'm assuming. Or if they want to take inspiration from like classic Secret Wars, where Peter is investigating a disturbance and then just kind of gets caught up in it.
Right. I think it's gonna be both. I think they're gonna do both, and it's gonna be like they're gonna give you symbiote. That way they can sell toys and do that whole jargon, and they're gonna be like, oh, Peter 1 had this, and it's gonna be like a whole thing. But like this will probably be the time we finally get comic accurate Venom suit. That way they can milk the toy sales.
Yeah,
that's what I think is gonna happen.
It'll be a black costume with a big white logo on the chest. But just to piss me off specifically, because God hates me, the top legs of that spider logo are gonna go up and over his shoulders, and the other three are gonna go under.
He's gonna be getting hugged by that spider.
It's gonna be like the Iron Spider suit.
He's
like,
gonna
just
get
like
that white bra strap of the legs, and I'm gonna look at it and go, so close, so close.
Oh God! Like, could you imagine too? Or like they'll do what the Insomniac Spider-Man game did and make it all weird and like stretched out and shit, and it's gonna be like, well, that happened. It's gonna be real weird. But like, I don't know. Or like they'll do like what they did during the 2000s, where like they like had to go over his shoulders weirdly, like almost like a shoulder pad. Like they're gonna do something different to make it stand out. That way, it's not comic accurate, but it will
create. I want to see if I can create like a viral image to just like poison the well of bad Venom adaptations. That just says the symbiote is not evil and it doesn't make people evil. And see if it circulates enough that Destin Daniel Creighton will see it and go, oh, that's an interesting idea. That would.
So what's in the chat? The moment Xavier gets over adaptations being 1-to-1 to comics is the moment we'll find peace.
Hey, I don't need them to be 1-to-1. I just want the characters' personalities and their costumes. That's it. Like, I can get over a billion changes. I just want them to act like themselves because I like them. I like their personality. I like the way they're written. If you write them completely differently and change their whole personality, then it's not even the same character anymore.
Exactly.
And I would just like them to be wearing their same fucking costume because I like the costume to begin with. I would prefer them wearing that instead of something that I think is trying to assert itself as superior by being like a big redesign. Like, oh, that old thing is bad. Here's our new version that's better. It has a vest and straps and buckles, and it looks like
it's going to specifically be this version just to annoy Xavier.
It's because that's the one I hate the most. Because that one looks the worst.
It's like specifically shoulder pads. That way it just drives him bonkers.
Why does it look like it's a beetle trying to get wings? That's confusing me there.
Yeah,
just to drive you nuts. But, specifically be that.
I want one Venom adaptation where they go, okay, what if the symbiote is not makes you evil goo? Because that's what they always do. And that's not
I
want
to eat people. Like, let's not do that.
What if we stop doing the 90s cartoon over and over and over
Mm.
and over and did
I would
the
love that.
comic just once?
Because-
just one adaptation of it that tries to be like the comic. That's all I
I just
ask.
want to
Nice.
make sure I'm getting my symbiote stuff right. The original stuff from the comics, it just enhances his powers more, doesn't it?
Yes.
It
It
makes
doesn't
him
even
more of
really
like
do
an
that. It
agile
makes infinite
Spider-Man.
web fluid, but that's it. It makes
Okay.
infinite web fluid, which I mean now that's redundant if he has the organic web shooters.
Right.
But like for the 90s cartoon, they added the wrinkle that it makes him considerably stronger, but it also makes him aggressive and starts affecting his personality. And then every Venom adaptation after that thought we should copy that. But
Mm.
originally it was doing this thing where I like that the symbiote is kind of this really simple organism that just kind of has this like monkey see, monkey do thing where it sees you do something and it's like, oh, I'll help them do that. So it sees Peter like fighting crime and is like, oh, I'll help him keep fighting crime. So I'll take over his body while he's asleep and go fight crime, using him as like a meat puppet. And so he keeps waking up every morning like totally exhausted and covered in bruises. And it's like, I feel like I've been fighting crime for the last 9 hours that I've been asleep and I'm exhausted. Like I feel like I didn't sleep. And so he realizes it's just misinterpreting his mission to help people. And it's like physically draining him because it's going too overboard. And it's like,
It's almost like
having
how
him-
AI recently has taken directives too far, kind of thing, where it's like,
yeah,
like,
right.
Like, what do you mean,
see,
Master?
You give it
I
a
did
simple
what you
command
wanted to
and
be.
Now
you
that
give it a
sounds
simple
like
command,
such a
but it just
fun-
takes it too far.
Exactly. That sounds like such a fun premise, especially for today's like interpretation for things, because like JP did, it's AI right there.
You
can
already
even do
connected it to a current political
Exactly.
issue.
And then even on to that point, it comes to the point of like the eagerness of what people want to do to help people, which I think is another great like Spider-Man story to hit on, because
Is
the
like
great
sometimes
power
you gotta
comes great
rest.
responsibility.
You can't take it too far.
Exactly.
Love that.
So I want to see them try that just once. And I think the most important thing about Venom's character is that Eddie Brock is completely liable for everything he did and said while he was Venom. And I hate that they keep taking that away from him and going, oh, well, the suit just makes you evil. Like,
That's not how that
you're
works.
not on the hook
It
for
takes
anything you
the
did.
morality out of Eddie Brock's character
Yeah,
at that point.
Because it tries to humanize him
totally take
instead.
off
Try to
the
make him an anti-hero. Try to red hood it too much.
Well, no, I want him to be an anti-hero, but I also want him, I think, to be an anti-hero, he needs to do bad things and then learn maybe I should take it back. Like I want him to be a flawed character.
Right.
The new Venom movies make Eddie just like a helpless, like non-participant. Like he is just there to give the symbiote the ability to stand upright. It does everything. I like the idea of the symbiote sees that he is mad about the way his life is right now. And it's also mad at Peter Parker. And they form this toxic relationship where they're going after him just as a sort of way to shirk their responsibility for the fact that both of them fucked up their lives. And I want Eddie Brock to be the complicated character that he is in the books. Because that's the thing, is the reason I get mad at Venom adaptations is they take Venom, who's like my favorite. Like I like him more than Spider-Man. And they make him a simpler character or a less morally complex character or even a more generic character for the sake of simplicity. And I'm like, that I don't think that's a good change. I think when you're taking depth away from something, that's not an adaptation doing its job.
Right.
You know? And that's why I'm so fucking overboard about Venom adaptations. Like that's one of the things I talk about the most online is I feel like
You're
they
just
always
waiting for
end
that
up
one
making
right
them
one.
I know, just one. And like we've never really gotten that one, you know?
Yeah.
There's so many they all get different little aspects, right? You know, like the Venom movies I think got right in some things. I think even the Spider-Man 3 movie got some things right. I want someone to just get that like platonic ideal, like just you don't have to follow the storyline exactly. You don't have to do like a panel for panel, word for word recreation of Spider-Man 300 because the dialogue in that issue sucks. I just want just his personality and what I like about that character to be represented in a medium outside of comics just like one time.
It would be nice. So
Yeah.
entirely, Xavier, you are the guest. What do you give this movie out of 10?
Oh, I'm not big on number ratings. I think it's hard to quantify art with an arbitrary number, but also about a 7.
Okay. So smooth. It's like, and obviously this is your best Holland movie, is what you had said earlier, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I think there's plenty of room for improvement, but they've already I feel like they're trying to get it right more than they ever have right now. You know, like this is the closest they've gotten with all the things that I personally want to see from Holland Spider-Man. And I was happy with this one. I feel like this is one I can watch a bunch and not be like finding problems with it constantly,
Right.
like I would be with like, you know, the previous ones. Like,
Mhm.
because you know, No Way Home, every time you watch that movie, it gets a little worse. It's sad.
Okay. B,
That movie's
where
awesome the first time you see it, and then the 20th time
yes,
you've seen it, you're like, this is a
it's
mess.
rough. B, where are you at? Where are you going with this? And this is like our
This
first
mov-
official like dedicated episode for a movie review. So like,
Oh,
where are you
yeah.
at with this?
I have to give it an 8 out of 10 because this movie made me cry more than a lot of movies had in a while. And I think that's more from like the nostalgia aspect of like seeing so many Spider-Man movies. And then this one just felt like they got a true coming to age story right for Spider-Man for me, that like anything else that isn't comic accurate, I can put off to the side because it genuinely made me cry multiple times.
All the
Fair
feels
enough.
hit. All the
Yeah.
feels worked for me. Like I cared about Jean, I cared about Peter, I cared about Ned and MJ more than I ever have before.
Right.
Like I like Ned in this movie. I was like I want good things for Ned now. Before I didn't give a damn. But now I care about Ned. This movie made me a Ned truther.
Like, this was the movie where I was like, I think it was the most he wasn't just Genki, but then he started
Yeah,
playing with,
he's
but then
starting
he
to
started
become his
playing
own
with
character
Legos, and I
now.
was like, damn it, stop it
Well,
right
I mean,
now.
that's just because that's what they used to do. It's showing you why they
know.
were friends in the first
I'm
place.
not gonna lie,
And
that
was a cute
scene,
scene.
that
scene
scene
was
brought me
cute. That got
together. Like
me.
It
as
was great. It
somebody
was
in their
great.
30s, I'm like, I want to go back and play Legos with my friends again. Like I just
Yeah.
want to
Play
do
Legos
that.
with my wife. My wife and I built the Lego X Mansion and had a blast. You know, I love that
Nice.
shit.
I love that. I think I will say, for me, I'm gonna be a little more generous than both of you. I'm gonna sit at like a second viewing might knock it to an 8, but I'm gonna sit at a solid 9 for now. Like, because I'm the freshest out of it out of all of us. Because I'm gonna echo what Frank Miller said. This is the most we've gotten to a Steve Ditko Spider-Man ever. And like there's always that thing that people say online where like Tom Holland is the best of Toby and Andrew. This is the first time I can possibly believe it. This is the first
Yes.
time where you
Yeah.
actively made, like, you manifested it, where it's like you had the quips, you had the seriousness at times, like that moment where he goes full black-eyed and beats the shit out of Scorpion. That felt very Toby on Venom type shit, where it's like you had those vibes in the best of ways, where I'm like, I believe the metaphor now, and I'm here for it. And now I'm excited for this next trilogy. You have me interested. I think I'm gonna dock a point or two depending on my mood about the Gene shit, because like we said, like y'all were fishing in a barrel for some kind of villain, and it was kind of like, what are you doing? But overall, the story was good enough that from a casual experience, like a casual like Rotten Tomato score, like them saying it's a 91 overall, I believe it. So like casual like critic in me, 9. Comic book fan, 8 is what I will say. That's why I'm sitting like at 8.5 right now, where it's like I'm averaging your score and I'm gonna give you that, where I'm like, this is where I'm sitting,
We're
and
grading
that's
on a
where we go.
curve.
Yeah, like if I'm speaking from a casual perspective, 9 all day. Like a 91, I believe that rating on Rotten Tomatoes. But like comic book fan, I'm sitting here like, I'm gonna dock you a couple points for being kind of weird, but like from the Frank vibes to like, I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to beat the brakes off that little white girl for that shit on the rooftop with MJ. I like you actually had me ready to fight somebody over that. So like I'm like, you know what? you had me ready to fight you over that, but then you won me back with the VMAX thing, where I was like,
Oh, that was great.
oh. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna grade you on a curve. Comic fan 8, a casual critic 9. That's where I'm gonna sit that. And I feel like overall, we sitting real comfy with the scores, and I like where we at. So that is a great way to
Yeah.
end the show.
I
Xavier,
just
you
have
are
to
the
point out
guest. Oh, go ahead.
one thing
Go
real
ahead.
quickly. That end scene too, when he's in the hospital bed talking to Frank about like, oh, did I make you cry, Frank? I hated that so much because it felt like he was talking to me personally there. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, shut up, Spider-Man, you didn't make me
Well, and
cry.
I like what they did there, because I was kind of sitting there like, how are they going to give me that Civil War moment where Frank carries the body? And I'm like, you know what? You boosted her powers enough where I'm like, she probably mind fucked enough people where they ain't worried about that. He got him in the showing, and then Frank guards
Apparently,
it.
there was supposed to be some kind of scene where he brings Peter to Claire Temple from Daredevil.
Yes, they
and
cut that,
Rosario
and
Dawson
I'm
was
mad
in
about it
that.
because Rosario was on set and she was at the premiere, and I'm mad about it. It's bullshit.
And that made a lot more sense than Frank, who is a wanted fugitive, is just gonna go, you know, hang out in this hospital room, and none of the doctors are like, "Hey, that's the Punisher. That's a wanted mass murderer." And he's got
it's
like the
like,
vest on. It's like, we can see he's the
yeah.
Punisher.
And it's like, oh, it's like we had to just kind of like hand wave Sadie Sink doing shit. I'm like, you know what? That, like, she just got boosted. I'll allow it. Like, I'm gonna allow. And then there's something so like in my heart of John Bernthal jumping on like a monkey, like, I'm
I hate
Spider-Man,
that
man. I'm
fucking
like,
noise that he does.
you know, right? I'm like, what the fuck is this?
hate
It was
it.
so like
I
I
was
heartwarming.
laughing so hard at that for
I
no
could
reason.
complain. I could complain about John Bernthal's take on the Punisher for like 2 hours. We could do a whole podcast of just Xavier going off about John Bernthal and the Punisher, because I got some things to say about that.
But did you enjoy like the dynamic in here though?
I
of the
enjoyed
two?
him in this movie. I think
Okay.
he works best when he is a supporting character in someone else's thing, like in
Okay,
Daredevil
fair enough.
season 2,
Yeah.
Daredevil Born Again season 1. This I think
But on
he
his own,
works
it's
great
weird.
there. But on his own, I
Fair enough. Okay. Xavier, you are the guest. You get the first closing statement. What do you want to leave people with for episode 57 of Comics Unmasked?
Oh boy.
I think you said that the last
rough.
time you were on when the show was panel to panel. I think that, like, you ended it the same way. You were like, "Oh boy."
Yeah, I don't ever know what to say. Like, if I want to give someone some closing thoughts, me being a comic book purist is just because I love these stories so much, and I think that they're well told already. And it's not that I hate change or I hate new things. I just wish that we gave a little bit more respect and love to the stories the way they were, not just the characters or their costumes, but just the actual stories being told. And if I come off as very harsh to Marvel adaptations, it is really just because I love the source material so much, and I want them to be better. And I have high expectations, not because I'm a snob, just because, you know, I love this shit. This stuff is like, it's my life. You know, this gives me life. This is my favorite thing in the universe. Right.
That was a great way to put that.
So yeah, you know, you don't have to agree with me in all of my takes, because I can be really cranky and grouchy and like a crotchety old man about Spider-Man shit. But that's just how I enjoy these things. And, you know, if you love it a completely different way, I love that for you. And that's great. And that's how things should be, is we're all different, you know?
I dig that. All right.
And yeah, you know, I am excited to see where things go next with Tom's Spider-Man. And I'm gonna be there for all of it, you know? I'm rooting for him, you know?
All right.
I'm not a hater.
I dig it. I dig it. B, what do you want to leave the people with for episode 57?
57. First off, make sure you touch grass, make sure you drink water. All of that's very important. And then secondly, hug
Did he die?
your just make sure you know that, like, boom, you know, because like this Spider-Man movie just made me go like, you know, we may not all have our own Aunt May or Uncle Ben, but you do have relatives that are there for you at all times. So just make sure you just hug a friend, hug your family.
I wish I could hug you, James.
Hey, we're gonna make that happen one of these days. We're gonna make it happen.
One of the, we should. We got to make that work.
Oh, for
You've
sure.
been there for me for a good long time, and I appreciate you, man. I love you, brother. Thank you for everything you've done for me.
For sure.
You know.
Not only do I love that I can call one of my best friends that I've had the past few years, Xavier, up to do this show for me, because we both have a love and hate relationship with the wall crawler. Like I was even like at the theater in protest with my Miles shirt on. Like we go stand tall. I
have that same shirt too.
I know, right? Like Amazon print to order is so much fun. I love it. Yeah. Like I thought this was a great outing. I'm excited for the future. Love what the comic book industry is doing as of late when it comes to print. I'm excited for the future. I'm gonna reach out to a contact about the Kirkman situation because I want to get some information for an article this week. But overall, Kevin Feige hates black people. Thank you so much. Have a great day, folks.